and schedule your free in-home consultation today.
Picture warm Gulf breezes, turquoise waters, white sand beaches. Now, add evenings of conversation with Salem Media's Mike Gallagher, Scott Jennings, Larry O'Connor, and Jennifer Horn. This November, sail from Fort Lauderdale to the Bahamas, Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, and Mexico on a 7-day journey built for those who love this country. Book your cabin today when you text the word cruise to 94878. Celebrate America's 250th anniversary the right way on the Gulf of America Cruise. Book your cabin now. Text the word cruise to 94878.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
All of the profiteers of policy, our money, the $30 trillion that's been added in 18 years, they're all circling the wagons around the vehicle of corruption known as the Southern Poverty Law Center. Up front, an organized syndicate that paid possibly not just terrorists domestically, but foreign terrorists. We're going to discuss that and the money laundering scheme of Democrats after news with Patrick Johnson.
Good afternoon. We're at 72 in Chicago. AM 560, The Answer. I'm Patrick Johnson of the QC Kinetics newsroom. We have a possibility of a thunderstorm this afternoon, and then tonight partly cloudy and cooler with a low of 43. A Cook County judge weighing in on whether to appoint a special prosecutor to investigate possible crimes tied to Chicago's Operation Midway Blitz. Community leaders and elected officials say federal agents may have committed unlawful arrests and used excessive force during last year's immigration crackdown. They argue the state's attorney's office has failed to act because of conflicts with federal law enforcement. A ruling is expected next month. Several Chicagoans are protesting Trump policies by refusing to pay federal taxes. War tax residents organizers say they are seeing an increase of people upset with the government's aggressive deportation efforts and U.S. support for Israel in the war in Gaza. The National War Tax Resistance Coordinating Committee provides training on tax resistance and its consequences. In 2018, the group had 157 Instagram followers. Today, 42,000. The IRS warns that by not paying your taxes, it could result in severe penalties, including interest, hefty fines, and wage garnishment. This report is a service of Salem Surround, a local digital marketing agency providing high-performing digital solutions to surround your target audience. Go to surroundchicago.com today. Time now for the AM 560 Business Beat, a service of Access One Business IT Services and Support.
I'm Stuart Varney, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks ending mixed as investors monitor developments in the Middle East. A surge in Intel stock leading tech stocks higher and boosting the tech-heavy NASDAQ, which notched a fresh record close. Then the S&P 500 also finished at record levels. Both indexes were higher for the week. However, it was a down week for the Dow. Oil prices fell. West Texas Intermediate crude was around $94 a barrel. Tech was the best performer among the 11 S&P 500 sectors, and it was a banner day on Wall Street for Intel, its stock rising over 23% for its first record close since August of 2000 after the chipmaker posted blowout financial results and guidance. The Dow winners, Amazon, Nvidia, and Microsoft. The Dow decliners, Goldman Sachs, Travelers, and American Express. The Dow falling 80 points, the NASDAQ higher by 398, S&P 500 up 57. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Hillary Barsky, invested in you.
Looking for a powerful way to support your immune system? Now's your chance to win a free bottle of Virago, the immune enhancement cocktail made with 23 science-backed ingredients, including vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and natural nutraceuticals designed to support your body's natural defenses. 10 winners will each receive a free bottle. Hey, don't miss your shot to boost your wellness routine. Enter today at 560theanswer.com/immune. That's 560theanswer.com/IMMUNE.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-884-1012 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-884-1012. That's 800-884-1012. What do you have to lose? Call 800-884-1012. Again, 800-884-1012.
Whether you are old or young, no one likes to lose money. The market is at an all-time high. How much risk does your portfolio really have in it? Are you worried that you could lose your hard-earned money? Call TJ Stearns in Arlington Heights at 800-640-2256 for your free risk report. Call right now and we will include a full analysis of your portfolio. Don't wait until it's too late. Call TJ Stearns, a local and longtime sponsor on AM 560. Call 800-640-2256. Call now and tell him AM 560 sent you.
When I started skiing, I didn't think about setting any records. When I won my first race, I didn't think about how many more I might win. So when I made it to the top of the world, it never crossed my mind to stop. Being the best isn't the same as being your best. There are no shortcuts to the top, so find the people who help get you there. I'm Michaela Schifrin, and that's what Team Stiefel means to me. If you're an advisor or an investor, choose Stiefel, where success meets success.
Stiefel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
Past performance is no indication of future results. Investing involves risk. Consult a financial advisor before making any investment decisions.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer from the AM 560 Traffic Center.
There are no delays going outbound on the Edens. The Kennedy inbound has an accident at Addison. That is in the left lane. That travel time inbound is 1 hour and 5. And then if you're going out on the Kennedy, it is 1 hour. Eisenhower Post Office to 390 also checks in at 1 hour. Stevenson, 55 minutes to Sabo Lakeshore Drive to the Veterans Memorial Tollway. Half hour outbound Ryan tied up in the Express, 35th to Marquette. There's an accident outbound 57 at 167th, taking out the left lane. Solid from 159th. Already busy along DuSable Lakeshore Drive and the Tri-State either way. Jane Addams, Reagan, and 355. Not a problem. This report is a service of the AM 560 store. Order t-shirts, hoodies, and more from your favorite AM 560 brands, including Proft University and the Shaun Thompson Show. When you go to 560theanswer.com/store. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight will be partly cloudy and cooler with a low of 45. On Saturday, expect a mix of sun and clouds with cooler temperatures. It'll be breezy in the afternoon with a high of 61. Saturday night will be mostly cloudy with a low of 44. Sunday will bring some sunshine with breezy conditions in the afternoon and a high of 64. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. This hour of the Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. They need your guns. Sell for top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
Portions of the following show may be pre-recorded.
From the streets of Melrose Park to the trading floor of the Merc, he's fought for every dollar he's ever earned. And now, with personal liberty and our system of capitalism under assault in America, he's here to seize back our rights from the government. With a cigar in one hand and a copy of the Declaration of Independence in the other, he's Shaun Thompson. And this is the Shaun Thompson Show.
Some folks are born made to wave the flag. Ooh, they're red, white, and blue.
Ty Cobb, not the greatest baseball player to ever play the game. The asset of the government mafia. The Marxist technocrats. The special, the lawyers. The lawyers are circling the wagon around this criminal organization called the Southern Poverty Law Center in spectacular fashion, which is a tell in the gambling world. That dog hunts. You see, if you can remember all of the scandal that is this communist organization, the hundreds of millions of dollars that it has in offshore accounts. What are you, the Pritzkers? Offshore accounts. Southern Poverty Law Center works in the shadows of everything. And now we know it gives money to Nazis, Klans members, moron podcasters who have cults. And it got me thinking, not just the scandal after October 7th. You see, that's when the Southern Poverty Law Center really split to a certain extent. That's when it exposed itself for not just anti-Semitic, but domestic terrorist assets and excuse makers and propagandists. See, that's who they are. But they were always. Here's some of the people that were put into judgeships under the election thief, Joe Biden, and his administration of traitors. As they took these suck-on corrupt lawyers from the Southern Poverty Law Center and turned them into judges, we have a couple of highlights.
I have to tell you, I find your answers absolutely extraordinary. Absolutely extraordinary. I can't believe you've been nominated for this position. I can't believe that the President of the United States would nominate someone from this organization with this record. And I can't believe that you would sit here today and refuse to condemn this hateful, frankly, violent rhetoric from this organization with this record. It's astounding to me. Ms. Abudu, if I could just start with you.
Her name is Abudu. Say that with me, Squirrel. It's fun to say. Abudu. And she looks exactly like you think she smells.
You said to Senator Ossoff just a couple of minutes ago that you believe in the First Amendment, right?
Absolutely.
And you told him that you have litigated cases under the various clauses of the First Amendment, and you said that you think that free speech is essential. Is that right?
That is correct.
And freedom of thought is essential, you also said. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
What about the right to counsel? Is that also essential?
The Sixth Amendment and the Supreme Court have said so.
So what would you think about your organization calling other members of the bar, saying that it is their goal, your organization's goal, to destroy other members of the bar who provide litigation, who provide counsel to indigent defendants? I'm thinking particularly of...
This is what needed to happen in order for all of these trillions to be stolen. You have to undermine the principles of American law, and you do it with this hybrid Marxist, communist, corrupt money laundering institution and their stronghold in the Democrat mafia. How many Republicans ever received anything from the Southern Poverty Law Center except grief? The entire time of its organization, it was a front, always a money laundering scheme, moving goals around of money, what it was going to raise and when it was going to practice and who it was going to fund. It was funding the hate groups. And I say, Squirrel, I think, therefore I am, and I'm a speculator. I heard something on the Jesse Waters show last night that I found very, very interesting. And I think that if we really look at all the money and all the text messages, I think there will be a link to the assassin who killed our friend, Charlie Kirk, and this hate group called the Southern Poverty Law Center. What do you think of that, Squirrel?
Understand that they're literally putting high school chapters of ours on a hate group next to the KKK and next to neo-Nazi groups. And I mean, we can laugh this off. There's an element to this. Remember that there was a shooter that went to the Family Research Council years ago, inspired by the SPLC list. This is them trying to make us basically surrender at Turning Point USA. We're going to do the opposite, and our students are only going to lean in even more. But they can't debate us on our ideas. They cannot have dialogue. They cannot actually go onto the merits of why they are right or why we might be wrong. Instead, they must smear us with the age-old one-liner that you are a racist or that you are a hater. And they're finally realizing the power of Turning Point USA, which is why they put us on this list.
Well, when you're effective, you're a threat.
After Charlie Kirk was put on their watch list, he got shot. Well, they'll say things like, oh, Trump's...
Everybody that received a check from the Southern Poverty Law Group needs complete auditing, complete investigation. Every single person. And all this racism stuff. Squirrel, you ever give any money to Nazis? No? How about the KKK? All of these racists on talk radio, allegedly. I don't think I've known anybody. Where's the KKK? In my neighborhood, they didn't like Italians. They didn't like Catholics. We would have kicked your ass 8 ways to Tuesday and taken that hood and shoved it so far in your Pelosi, you'd have come out talking like Paul. That's what we would have done to you, scumbags. I don't know anybody who ever practiced racism other than a Democrat, a Southern Poverty Law Center. And they gave money to Nazis and the KKK, and we're just going to move along? Well, we're not, but the media will. We are going to make certain everybody, including podcaster scum, that received money or favors from this group is vetted. And that queen transvestite that they have on trial for Charlie Kirk? Squirrel, put down me, and you know how I'm a little tight. Put down a C note. I want $100 that says him and his girlfriend, boyfriend, freakazoid he lived with. They got money linking right back to this SPLC.
The House Judiciary Committee has sent a letter to the Southern Poverty Law Center requesting documents on any communication and coordination between the group and the Biden administration. Now, in that letter, the committee claims the FBI had at least 13 documents, including a memo that labeled traditional Catholics as violent extremists.
Well, just like the Klan. The Klan doesn't like Catholics. SPLC doesn't like Catholics. Because they're one and the same. Oh, is that fantastic? I absolutely love it. Hey, hillbillies. Hey, hillbillies, slip and fall shysters. You think I haven't figured this out? You think everybody with an IQ who can read? You think we believe that freak with his handlebar mustache, Ty Cobb, and every other low-life lawyer that has such loathing for his country, he'd be a Democrat? You're all unindicted co-conspirators. Anybody that gave $5 to this organization is an unindicted co-conspirator in my book.
That memo, according to the committee, cited material from the SPLC. This after a 2023 report from that same House committee found that the SPLC identified Christian identity as a hate group.
Fascinating, huh? Goes back years and years.
At today's Senate Judiciary Committee hearing, Senator Chuck Grassley questions Nancy Abudu, nominee to be United States Circuit Judge for the 11th Circuit. At the center of his questioning is her work as Strategic Litigation Director for the Southern Poverty Law Center and the SPLC's classification of various right-wing groups as hate groups.
It's funny. How many shooters has the SPLC been linked to? I remember, I know Charlie Kirk talked about the one in 2012.
Let me be clear that Floyd Corkins was responsible for firing the shot yesterday that wounded one of our colleagues and our friend, Leo Johnson. But Corkins was given a license to shoot an unarmed man by organizations like the Southern Poverty Law Center that have been reckless in labeling organizations hate groups because they disagree with them on public policy.
The Democrat Party is a hate group. They hate people who succeed. They hate people who want their own money. They hate people who achieve any level of success. The entire Democrat mafia is a hate group, and the Southern Poverty Law Center are their counselors.
And I believe the Southern Poverty Law Center should be held accountable for their reckless use of terminology that is leading to the intimidation and what the FBI here has categorized as an act of domestic terrorism.
2012, but that's when Barack could squash those cases. Control of it all. That's when the conspiracy to steal elections in perpetuity, to enrich illegal aliens and domestic scum, Democrat ghetto assets. That's when it all started, didn't it, Barack? And we knew that. You know who else knew it? Everybody who could think, even the great lawyer who broke apart the mob in New York City.
I just want to say one thing. Andrew Giuliani, so his father is Rudy, the greatest mayor in the history of New York, I think by far. He took a ravaged city, a city that was really under siege. Probably most people thought it was going to survive. He turned it around. And he was a great, great mayor. And then they treated him very, very unfairly. You go back and tell your father all of the things that have come out over the last couple of months through Tulsi and through all of the people, Cash, everybody. They've proven your father 100% correct. His father was treated so unfairly. Your father has been 100% correct. And tell him we all love him, okay?
We all were 100% correct. And those two fat-ass Democrat whores who were caught on video stuffing the counting machines. Give back Rudy's stuff and the pinky ring. You understand me? You can't fit in his underwear anyway. You're Democrat females. You got those big fat asses. Can't use regular underwear. You need a pillowcase with 2 holes in it. 312-642-5600.
This is the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
Hey, AM 560 listeners. Jeff checking in again from JeffBuysYourHouse.com. What I learned serving our great nation in the military is that every mission is unique and success starts with listening. For nearly 20 years, our veteran-led house buying team has taken the time to understand what matters most to each homeowner we serve. Every home has a story, and every seller has different needs. Whether you want a quick closing or need extra time to find your next place, we customize our approach around what works best for you. That's how we've earned hundreds of 5-star Google reviews and an A+ rating with the BBB, by putting relationships first. No repairs needed, no cleanout required, and you pick the closing date that works best for your schedule. At JeffBuysYourHouse.com, we're here to help you through the entire transition, not just the transaction. Are you ready to work with a local team that takes the time to understand your home selling needs? Sell your house to the trusted source by calling us today at 630-895-9530. That's 630-895-9530 or JeffBuysYourHouse.com.
Hey, business owners, is your business and money in good hands? Does your bank invest in your success? Hi, Mike Gallagher here, letting you know that when you need a relationship bank, Signature Bank makes commercial banking personal. I love these guys. Not only do they have expansive industry experience, a strong financial track record, but they're also highly capitalized for strategic growth. That's so important. That's why Signature Bank is my bank. They know what it means to grow a business by designing solutions that are right for you and only you. These are real people. They're ready to help. So reach out to my friends at Signature Bank. Make the call today, 773-467-5630, 773-467-5630, or visit them online at signaturebank.bank. That's signaturebank.bank. Your business could be Signature Bank's next success story. Go online, signaturebank.bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Signature Bank.
Lots of places can expose you to identity theft, but that's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats to your identity, which is way more than anyone can do on their own. If they find anything suspicious, like new loans or changes in your financial accounts, they'll alert you right away, all through text, phone, email, or the LifeLock app. Get the alerts that can make all the difference. Save up to 40% off your first year with the promo code BECK. LifeLock.com, 800-LifeLock, 1-800-LifeLock, or LifeLock.com. Use the promo code BECK at LifeLock.com.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
AM 560. The
answer. Rudy was right about everything. And he was not only the victim of lawfare, was fracking railroaded. Had to give even the convertible, Squirrel, the convertible, the pinky ring, to those two fat-ass Georgia Democrats who helped steal the election.
800,000 ahead in Pennsylvania, 64% of the vote cast. He was out-polling every projection possible. So right down to the rigged polls before, this is another attempt to try to defeat him by illegal means.
Now, Squirrel, they've got, the Democrats have had that one lawyer. He looks like a penis with glasses on. What the hell's his name? Ellison? That moron. They also have the Southern Poverty Law Center. Let's see if they were involved with the Michigan Democrat assets who destroyed evidence proving that Michigan stole the election as well. All these Democrat enclaves. That's why when you talk about elections, it doesn't matter what happens, what you say the outcome is. You're thieves. You're like Saddam Hussein, who was a CIA asset.
Antrim County, Michigan election manager admits on video to deleting election data, including logs and files from the Dominion voting systems and election management system itself, the EMS. Now, what's even more alarming is that she was allegedly directed and influenced by the Michigan Secretary of State themselves.
Well, it's like Arizona, and that Arizona Secretary of State, that illiterate moron, she became a senator and then a governor.
Okay, now this clearly violates state retention laws, which are felonies, but she admits this on video.
Probably the biggest question makes it difficult for me to want to ask the questions because the people have been very loud about why aren't we doing anything, why aren't we asking questions, why aren't we getting answers. So I'm going to ask the question since we had some people that have spoken to the media, have given their opinions, have made statements, has spoken at the state level, gave their opinions and statements. Well, I would like to ask this one direct question to the clerk. Did you direct or delete yourself any files on Dominion services? Did you direct anybody in your staff to do so?
I can tell you one thing, Christian Marcus, because the global Antrim County election program was not updated after 2 additions or corrections to 2 township ballots was completed, that we needed to pull every tabulator card back to match the election night reporting. We worked fiercely because once it wasn't automatically uploaded, we had to go into every single precinct, ballot style.
When you tell a lie, you're down the path. Answer the question, you Democrat whore. Just stop putting Democrats in charge of elections. Stop giving them jobs in the Secretary of State. They're just going to do this, steal and then bore you to death.
And put those numbers in. So when you're saying who went in and worked on those files, whether they deleted them, replaced them, changed them, or corrected them, it was my office. I have never gone onto that machine, but it was my staff, and it was because they were doing their job.
That's a yes. You deleted them and you pawned it off on some stool pigeons, some morons, some ghost job idiots.
The Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, declassified a memo that the spy community wrote in 2020, right before the presidential election, warning about vulnerabilities in election infrastructure. The memo proves conspiracy theorists were right all along about foreign government hacking into U.S. election systems. It was kept hidden through the 2020 election, 2022 midterms, 2024 presidential elections until now. Conservatives say this memo proves that the intelligence community and Biden-era officials played politics with election security. The memo details how the government knew the risks and knew the American people would lose trust if the risks were made public, so they chose to keep it quiet. The 6-year delay is being called a suppression of facts. Anyone who was concerned about hacking or voter databases were immediately labeled an election denier by the Democrats.
And then did the Southern Poverty Law Center call him a racist as they funded the KKK? The filthy pig slip and fall lawyers that they are. Terry, Chicago.
Hey, Shaun, I missed yesterday's program, but Wednesday you were talking about how you were going to start a third party. Can I give you the slogan, I don't mind being a fool, just don't let me know? And the other one is, state likes to do referendums. Can they do a referendum where only one member of a family can have a city, county, or state job?
Terry, did you ever meet a pickpocket that cut their hands off?
I can't say that, Shaun, because I've known a few people that did things that weren't exactly ethical.
Listen, you can't live among them. They're dangerous, and they're very expensive. And you certainly can't put them in charge of anything that has to do with elections. Anything at all.
No different than the impeachment. It's done by largely the same people who were involved in it. One of the chairman of Smartmatic is a close business associate of George Soros. I have to tell you more. Finally, you want to get down to the votes, let's just pick Pennsylvania. We have identified 632,000 illegal votes. 632,000. It's enough to have the president win the state by 300,000, which is actually what he won it by, right?
You know what's sad, Squirrel, is that now that big fat-ass Democrat in Georgia, she's probably got all kinds of junk all over the interior of that two-seater Mercedes. She broke the shocks, too. Big fat-ass. The German cars aren't made for these big fat Democrats in Georgia. Jim, Lake County.
Namaste, Shaun. Namaste.
Namaste. You're never going to get that smell of ass out of that SL 580. You're never going to do it. Stinks like ass. Go ahead.
Hey, I want to talk about the gypsy ship that's going on in Minnesota. You know, Ilhan Omar's food kitchen fraud and Jacob Fry's wife, who's tied into that stuff, too.
You mean the Somalian cash station?
Oh, man, you're not kidding. I'm telling you, here we are looking at, like, the judges are giving out so-called convictions, 72 days in jail and 3 years probation. An average bank robbery without a gun, I had to look this crap up, is $4,000 to $7,000 on the take and 5 years and 9 months in prison. Who's got the IQ of 58?
9. The Somalians.
Okay. They're winning.
The 58, those are the American Democrats. Somalia's 59, and the American Democrats are 58. Did you take a look at some of these idiots? Just look at these fracking morons. Where's the one that Honey Bunny wants me to lose my mind out of? All right, this is the one, Squirrel. I got to cover my one eye because it'll start twitching. Here's the representative of a New York ghetto. Never did anything in his useless life except be incriminated by Shaun Diddy Puffy Combs with the baby oil, as Shaun Diddy Puffy Combs implicated Hakeem Jeffries at the Diddy parties, demanding an underage illegal boy be chained to a radiator wearing a Fidel Castro hat. I wish I was making it up, Squirrel, but I am not. And you could listen to the sugar in the tank when Hakeem talks.
If Donald Trump wants to debate me anytime, any place, in the Oval Office, publicly, on camera, I'd be happy to do it. And we'll see who's intellectually superior in that.
You're not a man. You've never done anything in your life except lie. And by the way, your breath smells like Paul Pelosi's hammer. 312-642-5600.
Marxists, socialists, and communists are not welcome on the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
This Mother's Day, give Mom something that shines as bright as she does. Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. Roland's Jewelers is the perfect place for a gift to make Mother's Day unforgettable. Roland's has such a beautiful selection of jewelry, and I'm a longtime customer of Roland's. I love this place, and I want you to make Mom feel truly special with a stunning Simon G necklace, a Roberto coin bracelet to match her style, or sparkling diamond stud earrings. I love that Roland's is family-owned, and I appreciate their expertly trained sales specialist. Roland's will help you find that perfect gift because Mom deserves jewelry she'll cherish forever. Visit Roland's Jewelers, downtown Libertyville, or RolandsJewelers.com. That's ROLLANDS, RolandsJewelers.com. Roland's Jewelers, a family-owned jeweler you can trust this Mother's Day, like I do. RolandsJewelers.com, or call them 847-918-7300, 847-918-7300, Roland's Jewelers.
My name is Christine, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, was a healthy 34-year-old, and 3 months later, he was gone. Thankfully, he had life insurance. Ethos made it so easy. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. 100% online, no medical exam. Life insurance didn't take away the loss, but it did give us the space to just grieve.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. Ethos.com/save. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Lots of places can expose you to identity theft, but that's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats to your identity, which is way more than anyone can do on their own. If they find anything suspicious, like new loans or changes in your financial accounts, they'll alert you right away, all through text, phone, email, or the LifeLock app. Get the alerts that can make all the difference. Save up to 40% off your first year with the promo code BECK. LifeLock.com, 800-LifeLock, 1-800-LifeLock, or LifeLock.com. Use the promo code BECK at LifeLock.com.
Getting excited about Cigar Night. I really am. May 19th. It's all happening at Gobert's Farm in Pingree Grove. Proft won't let me on the Hayek Express, so I'm debating whether I drive the weekend before. We'll figure out the logistics of me getting there. Just you get there, and all you have to do is go to 560theanswer.com/cigar. That's 560theanswer.com/cigar to join us for a cigar night. Myself, Proft, and arguably the best name in all of radio, Marlowe, Alex Marlowe. He'll be there as well. It's going to be a lot of fun, and if you haven't been to a cigar night, it is truly great. First, I do the show there, so get there early. We do the show. You jump in, jump out. But Cigar Night, we talk about the most pertinent topics, and you wouldn't believe it, Squirrel. We really let our hair down. I don't know. I don't have much hair to let down anymore, but we do it. And it's fun because we interact with everybody, and you guys get to ask us questions. And the cigars, fantastic. Liberty Cigar Company is going to be sponsoring, in part, with Virago and Donley Auctions. And you get to be with each other. And when you're living under the thumb of these rat Democrats in Illinois and Chicago and whatever county you're in. You need to come together, and it can happen all on the 19th of May. See you there. 312-642-5600 if you care to participate. Frank, on the west side, you'll be first after news.
It's 72 degrees in Chicago. I'm Patrick Johnson in the QC Kinetics newsroom on AM 560, The Answer. The legal fight over Operation Midway Blitz is moving forward. A hearing held today on whether a special prosecutor should be named to investigate alleged misconduct by federal immigration agents during the 25 enforcement operation. Petitioners claim crimes, including excessive force and unlawful arrest, were ignored by prosecutors. A Cook County judge, Erica Reddick, is expected to issue a decision at a May 11th hearing. The Department of Human Services is seeking millions of extra dollars from state taxpayers due to federal policy changes.
Illinois DHS Secretary Dulce Quintero said federal changes require additional state investments to address SNAP and Medicaid. State Rep Bill Hodder questioned Quintero when she said the department would need $40 million to hire 450 new caseworkers.
That's a huge number, and I'm astonished that we need 450 new employees.
Human Services Assistant Secretary of Programs John Schomburg said the caseworkers could save the state hundreds of millions of dollars.
By investing in these caseworkers, we are preserving services and access and keeping people on SNAP and Medicaid.
Schomburg said the savings could come in the form of both direct federal benefits and also in helping the state reduce its SNAP error rate. I'm Chip Talamonte.
Report a service of Team Hochberg. They've helped thousands of AM 560 listeners with the best rates and service. Let Team Hochberg help you by visiting 56david.com or calling 855-563-2843. That's 56david.com. Atlantic Coast Mortgage, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 613114. Let's head to the traffic center and check out the roads with Willard County.
There is an accident on the inbound Edens. That's at Toohey, making that a 40-minute ride in from Lake Cook Road to Montrose, while the outbound side is wide open. The Kennedy, 50 minutes to get from the Janeburn interchange out to O'Hare. Eisenhower inbound, an accident at First Avenue on the shoulder. It's an hour and 5 in, 1 hour going out. And the Stevenson outbound side, 50 to the Tri-State, and just under an hour out to 355 with an accident at California on the right shoulder. Outbound Ryan, 35 minutes, slowing in the Express, Pershing to Marquette. I-57, very heavy outbound into I-80 from an earlier accident. DuSable Lakeshore Drive remains heavy in both directions. Tri-State, you'll see tie-ups both north and south. Jane Addams is okay, so is the Reagan either way. And scattered delays southbound 355, eastbound 80, slowing center to Chicago. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight, expect partly cloudy skies with cooler temperatures reaching a low of 45. Moving into Saturday, anticipate a mix of sun and clouds with cooler conditions becoming breezy in the afternoon. Daytime temperatures will peak at 61. As we head into Saturday night, skies will turn mostly cloudy with a low of 44. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
There's a new kind of energy at Starbucks. Try the all-new Energy Refreshers. Strawberry Acai, Mango Dragon Fruit, or the all-new Mango Strawberry. New Energy Refreshers, only at Starbucks.
Hello?
Sir, this is Officer Peterson. There's been a string of break-ins in the area, and your office, it was hit.
Hit? What do you mean? We were robbed?
Looks like the back door lock was easily pried open, and they moved through the building like they knew exactly what to take. We see wires everywhere. No computers.
What? No computers? I just upgraded everything.
Looks like they moved fast. We only found out because a neighboring business had their alarm go off. Do you have any security cameras?
No. Nothing.
Don't wait until it's too late. Goldilocks protects Chicagoland businesses with custom security solutions. From reinforced commercial doors with keyless entry to cameras and 24/7 monitoring that alerts authorities immediately. Schedule a free on-site assessment at GoldilocksInc.com. Again, that's GoldilocksInc.com. Plus, AM 560 listeners get their first 3 months of monitoring free with a new install. Call 708-889-5600. That's 708-889-5600. Goldilocks, Chicago's premier locksmith doors and security systems company since 1981.
Spring cleaning isn't just for your house, it's for your life. If your job is getting old, it's time to clear the clutter and spring into IT. Go to My Computer Career.
My Computer Career helped me get the skills and certifications I needed to start a new life as an IT professional in months, not years.
Earn the certifications the top employers are looking for right now. Visit mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation to see if it's time to spring into IT. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
My doctor told me my cholesterol is borderline, so I took control with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula. Garlic helps maintain healthy cholesterol safely and naturally. It's odor and taste-free, and Garlic is a world leader in garlic potency. I'm taking charge of my cholesterol with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula, cholesterol's natural enemy.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. This hour of The Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. Estate jewelry, vintage watches, sell worldwide for true auction value. DonleyAuctions.com.
AM 560.
The Answer. Stop. Hammer time.
The Paul Pelosi hammer. It stinks in the package. We should really market this, squirrel. Pre-stink. The Pelosi hammer. Of course, he can make two of them stink. I'm not doing that. You can't put two in the package and make money. I'm a capitalist. I'm not a rat Democrat just looking to take other people's money. Frank on the West Side.
What's up, Shaun? I got a question. Do you think that Donald Trump, I know, and we all know the man is busy, is he sitting down right now and thinking to himself, if it can be proven legally that that election was a fraud, and the Supreme Court hypothetically says, you know what, you're right. You know, the election was a fraud. Donald Trump should have won. Now, could they acquiesce and say, you know what, here's how we're going to rule. You know, we're going to give him another chance to run again. Now, could that happen? Seriously, could it realistically happen?
No, that cannot realistically happen. But I'm gonna tell you something. These people, and I'm everybody knows that, and I mean this. They know he stole the election. The crime of stealing an election is multifaceted. But what you can never get back is time. There is no amount of money. There is no righteousness that can ever bring back time, as time is the enemy of everyone. And when you look at the $9 trillion added to the debt, that's a window of the problem. But the problem also exists. All of the suck-ons that scored that money, all of the judges, never forget, well, Joe Biden stole the election and pretended to be president. We had 200 and what did what's his name say? 265 federal judges, all at the scum at the Southern Poverty Law Center. None of them qualified. None of them. All assets of the Democrat Party. These are the judges that are stifling up our economy, stifling up our freedom, and doubling down on election theft. These are the ones that rubber stamp the communists, the fascists, and the thieves in these Democrat areas that steal our money. You know, Frank, it's not just, the problem is that it's compartmentalized. We're set up perfectly for a scam like this, a conspiracy like this, because everybody listening in Boston, they know it. Everybody listening in New York, they know it. In Chicago, they know it. In California, they know it. But they have this system that separates it all, so you're held harmless, which is why, Frank, I mean, my conclusion is simple. You can go to only the places that are run honestly. You can never, you don't, first of all, you don't live in those areas. You survive them. Think about what the promises are. If you make this amount of money, we're going to take more. If you do this, we're going to take that. If your property, we don't care what it's worth, you're going to pay this on taxes. So you're not living there. You're surviving it. Right? And that's what you get used to it. You get used to it. And then you got to pick up the little tidbits. Why do you think they're all doing the same thing? So millionaires, we're going to charge you this much, and we're going to charge you that much. If you got this, we're going to do that. Yeah. But there's no penalty to be a low-life scumbag degenerate. None. In fact, they make it easier to be it. And then they try to cut in virtue. Oh, the illegal aliens are bad. Well, they killed and they raped how many? Oh, that's okay. They're okay. There's only some. I got Salazar on the board. We're going to let the ones who have been living here illegally for 30 years. If you didn't commit another crime, then you could stay. Well, that is a crime. You're taking up welfare benefits as 65% are on welfare. And you got kids in school? Well, then unless you paid $34,000 in taxes, you didn't pay $1. Right? So the more you go down, the more you see the abuse. But what has to happen is for the kids to have faith in any system, which nobody should have faith in. You have to do what's right. You have to out this. Because it's the greatest kept. It's like the known lie that Mike Madigan was a politician versus a mafia don or Ed Burr. It's like you know it. You know the dailies are a syndicate, but let's just pretend he's a mayor. And by the way, let's pretend he can read and pass the bar. Because that last daily was the dumbest son of a pig that you've ever seen in your life. Lawyer, my ass. So there's a lot of things that happen when you go along and you agree to go along with a lie, which is why you can never do it. You can never do it. You can never do it. And the beauty of what we're experiencing, all of the allegations that I made from day one, and you made, and you knew, and people wouldn't say, it's proved. It's proof. It's over with. They're outed. They don't matter. Which is why, Frank, when they call Honey Money Knows, we just had a guy call, scumbag, get off the frack. If you're dumb enough or deceitful enough to be a Democrat, nothing you say matters. You're scum. And where you reside is a bankruptcy, financial raping of honest people. Thank you very much for the call. It's just a fact. So that's why it's infuriating to hear Hakeem Jeffries, but it's also kind of funny. I mean, listen to him. What did you ever do in your life? You can barely talk. You've got jazz hands when you talk to keep yourself on tempo, and you're a child, an intellectual dwarf.
If Donald Trump wants to debate me anytime, any place, in the Oval Office, publicly, on camera, I'd be happy to do it.
What are you going to debate about, stupid? About the ghetto you represent? Or about your massive failures in policies? What exactly are you going to debate, you child? You failure. This is the only arena a bust-out thief like you can exist. You can't ever work anywhere. Donald Trump went broke, what, twice? Built it back up. Broke, built it back up. You made up everything, and you stole the election, and we know it. You're not going to debate. You're going to wallow in your failure in your $6,000 suit, and you're going to pretend to be a man of which you are never going to be. And to other men, you're a joke, man.
Before I do that, we got this guy, Hakeem Jeffries. Have you guys heard of him? I don't know that he'd do very well in Chipley if he ran for office, but he's threatening Florida. Oh, you do the redistrict. We're going to come down. We're going to get you guys, all this stuff.
Now, although that's funny because he's making fun of a child, what he really said, if it was in a tavern, you'd be spitting teeth, son. You'd be spitting teeth in any tavern in America.
Our message to Florida Republicans is F around and find out.
Right there. I bounce your head
if
right off
they go
of
down
that
the
rail.
road of a DeSantis dummy mander, the Florida Republicans are going to find themselves in the same situation as Texas Republicans.
The only places, Squirrel, Florida's got some places you don't want to go. And do you know what they all have in common? They're all run by Democrat scum. They're inhabited by Democrat voters. Illiterate, welfare, dangerous roaches. See, this is the reality of things that people are afraid to say. The Democrats wallow in the ghettos that they create, and they pretend to achieve something. Who are you talking to, son? Who exactly are you talking to, you failure?
Who are on the run right now, and under no circumstances are Texas Republicans picking up 5 seats. They'll be fortunate if they get 2 or 3.
Listen. How about you just stay away from our areas? Because when you come in, you drive down prices, cars get broken into. Just stay in the ghettos you already built, you low-rent scumbag that you are. Also known as a Democrat. 312-642-5600.
He's Shaun Thompson.
Hello, Mr. Thompson.
And this is the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus.
Give me an extra large deep dish pepperoni.
Hasselus doesn't sell pizza. We sell mattresses for way less.
Do I need a coupon?
No, sir. Others sell a Beauty Sleep by Beauty Rest Queen Elm Cove A mattress for $1,459. But Hasselus has it for just $794.
Running any specials?
Through Monday, save an additional $248 on a new Beauty Rest or Sealy Posturepedic just for shopping local.
Do you deliver?
Free next day delivery.
I'm really hungry.
Hasselus.com.
This is Shaun Thompson. One of the things I remember about spring is listening to my grandfather walk around and say, opening day, it's just around the corner. He used to think those were the 2 sweetest words you could say during springtime because he was a big baseball fan. And for most people, that's the case. It's one of the greatest American traditions each spring. But there's another great American tradition that isn't far off, and that's called Tax Day. Well, opening day and tax day show up around the same time each year. We don't look at them in the same way. Well, you're optimistic about your favorite team. When's the last time you felt optimistic about stroking a big check to Uncle Sam? It doesn't have to be that way, and all you have to do is call Tom Fortino, the people at Alpha Wealth Group, who believe that baseball is a seasonal game, but tax planning goes on year-round. So if you don't want to write a big check in your retirement, and you don't want to have your Social Security or Medicare premiums affected by it, call Tom Fortino and the people at Alpha Wealth Group for their complimentary retirement roadmap. Call them at 630-864-6711. That number again is 630-864-6711 or online at alphawealthgroup.com.
Concerned about your retirement accounts or bank savings? Tired of stock market turbulence? Or simply curious about diversifying with precious metals? Tune into The Gold Show on AM 560, The Answer. Learn how gold and silver can help protect your financial future. Discover insights, strategies, and opportunities designed to help you make smarter decisions and guide you to more confident investing. Don't miss The Gold Show this Saturday morning at 11 on AM 560, The Answer.
The following advertisement includes a celebrity impersonation.
The summer heat in Chicagoland is no joke. And if your old air conditioner is making funny noises, you may already know it's time for a new unit.
Look, your air conditioner, it's a disaster. People are telling me it's the worst ever.
Don't sweat it. Literally. When it comes to cooling your home, Air Right Heating and Cooling does it the best.
And they love our country. Beautiful people.
Rebates are still available. Financing is flexible. And at Air Right, installations are smooth and professional with no surprises.
It's beautiful. Some people say it's the coolest air anyone's ever felt. I don't know. That's just what they're saying. It's doing an incredible job. Really tremendous.
Plus, tell them AM 560 sent you and Air Right will give you $56 off any service. Visit Air Right Heating and Cooling today at AIR-RITE.com. Again, that's AIR-RITE.com. Air Right Heating and Cooling. Doing it right since 1959.
I'm attorney Stephen Leahy. If you're a business owner with unfiled tax returns, tax season is not your friend. This is when the IRS turns up the heat. They match 1099s. They review payroll filings. They compare bank deposits. And when returns are missing, they don't send you a warning. They take action. Penalties stack up fast. Liens become public. Bank levies can drain your account. I see it every year. Good business owners who waited too long. Not because they're crooks, but because they were overwhelmed. Let me be clear. Hiding makes it worse. Action makes it fixable. I help business owners get compliant, file what's missing, and negotiate from a position of strength, not fear. Don't wait for the next certified letter. Don't wait for a levy. Go to fightbacknow.com and sign up for my daily email. I'll tell you exactly what to do next, step by step. Or call me right now at 312-664-6649. Act now before the IRS acts first.
AM 560.
The Answer. $9 trillion in 4 years. It's an unimaginable amount of money, including every dollar that came in. And that's exactly what happened after the election was stolen. And by the way, it's so preposterous. That's why I wish I could be a fly on the wall in 100 years when they take a look at, wait a minute, who did they say won the election?
And Joan Shingang, I'm going to pronounce it, Shanga Kawawa.
It's an entire sentence. Not one fracking word, you stupid moron. Tim, Carrollton, Texas. Did I say it right? Carrollton.
Yeah, Carrollton.
Wow, I don't even know. I'm
Hey,
very
Sean.
flattered you listen to the show. Thank you, Tim.
At Chicago and living in Dallas area.
Nice.
Anyway, hey, Sean, besides the Southern Poverty Law Center, the ACLU ought to be looked at, as well as, what was it, that group of 56 lawyers, liberal lawyers last year? They're all in cahoots.
Tim, the first weekend that I bought the cigar store in Elmhurst, all right, so it's like 2014, maybe 15, I don't even remember. The first week, these two morons come in the store, walk in the store, and they're two lawyers. One of them has an ACLU hat on. The other one has a Bernie Sanders shirt on with an ACLU hat on. I said, do you two morons, do you understand, you two morons, how stupid you look? You believe in the American civil liberties, and you've got a socialist on your shirt. Do you understand? Get the frack out of the store. I think I owned the store for maybe an hour and a half before I threw 2 communists out. And I'll tell you what, Tim, that was the way I ran it. And it's a shame now, because if you're in Elmhurst, there's nowhere to get a communist, Marxist, mafia, moron-free environment, because now the Elmhurst Cigar House is gone. But the ACLU has always been littered with intellectual frauds, midgets, communists, Marxists, and scumbags with law degrees. That's all they are, Tim. And by the way, you knew that. You knew that before you moved. Everybody knows it. This is the problem. People are too polite. They put up with these traitors, and they pretend it's a policy. You're not a Democrat. You're not a socialist or a communist. You're just a thief. You're a thief who wants to steal other people's money because you can't make your own. It's that simple. Thank you very much, Tim. This is the country where if you have civil liberties, you don't have to give anything to anybody you don't want to. And if you want to, you'd have to vet them. See, but in this country, when Democrats are in charge, you don't make any decisions to give money away. The government does. And how does it do when traitors are in charge who steal elections?
Mr. Roman, are you aware that we are sending $40 million a week to the Taliban?
To the Taliban. $40 million a week under that moron in a diaper with his little skinny legs up like Mr. Burns waiting for somebody to slap his ass with baby powder. He wasn't the fracking president. The slippery scum commie lawyers were.
Yes, sir. Can you name other instances of foreign aid going to terrorist organizations?
We have assisted al-Shabaab in Somalia. There's been instances of the Hamzi network in Sudan, Hamas, Islamic Jihad, Hezbollah, Kataiba Hezbollah, Hayat Tahrir al-Shams in Syria. Dozens of terror organizations have received indirect assistance from U.S. foreign aid.
USAID. They also gave money to the other terrorists, the domestic terrorists, Southern Poverty Law Center. And it wasn't even their money to give. They didn't even give our money. They borrowed it. $9 trillion, and nobody can tell you where the fracking money is. I can. It's all the scum that made money under the Biden years. All the Democrat suck-ons, whether it's the ACLU, the Southern Poverty Law Center, or the Taliban.
Use Gaza as our case study. $2.1 billion in American taxpayers' money to Gaza since October 7th when Hamas invaded southern Israel. USAID money was going in terms of an emergency use authorization to try to go to parties that USAID formerly had a relationship with in the Gaza Strip.
So when the Department of Agitation and Propaganda in the form of the New York Times writes articles about how sad it is that the USAID executives can't get jobs, they never should have had jobs. You're traitors, too. Now go and do what you're normally accustomed to as a Democrat. Get on welfare and beg. George in Naperville.
When Kamala said, "You did it, Joe. You're the president of the United States," we were screwed.
Oh, come on. Kamala kept fluffing up old men her whole life.
He's a rogue, all right, notorious for his flamboyant lifestyle. Flashy clothes, fancy parties, fine women, and fast cars.
I'm going to run for president one day, and my only skill is I really love old, wrinkled, low-hanging balls.
We did it, Joe. You're going to be the next president of the United States.
Yeah, she is a monument to office tramps everywhere. Take a lesson, girls. You might not have to do good in school, but if you can acquire a taste for old balls, you can run for president. Dave, South Suburbs.
If Biden stole the election, can the legislation he signed be overturned?
You know, listen, brother, I don't know how he could sign legislation in the first place. That was an audit that the people demanded, and it was sidelined. Where does the government operate in the parameters of legitimacy anymore in Democrat areas? Can you name it? I mean it. Can you name one? Take a look around us in the South Suburbs by you. Look at how many of them just stole the money. Is Harvey even open for business? Dalton, they're just thieves, man. I mean, you think they care about a signature? You think they care about a signature? When they look at something, they look at it like a gypsy and a criminal. How could we steal it? That's all they care about. That's why they're trying to limit their fellow citizens. They're just thieves who can't figure out how to steal it and get away with it. Let's call it a policy. We'll be back.
This is the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
The new Russell apartment sofa is Penny Mustard's greatest optical illusion.
How so?
The Russell appears to be the perfect pint-sized sofa to fit any small living space.
Yeah?
But behold, the three of us can comfortably sit together without feeling cramped.
No way.
Try it.
Okay.
See?
Wow, you're right.
Seeing is believing.
You know this is radio, right?
Just squint your ears, you'll see it.
The new Russell apartment sofa, starting at $20.81 at Penny Mustard.
6 Chicagoland showrooms.
PennyMustard.com.
When you build a home for the next chapter of your life, you're not just choosing floor plans, finishes, and paint colors. You're making a decision about where your life continues after all the years you've worked so hard. At Steiner Homes, we understand that because we're a family business that's been building custom homes in Northwest Indiana for over 30 years. And for us, this isn't just a business, it's a calling. Every Steiner home is built with intention. No shortcuts, no compromises. Just craftsmanship you can see and quality you can feel. There's a reason more empty nesters are choosing Indiana. Lower taxes mean your money goes further. Safer communities mean real peace of mind. It's a place where neighbors still wave, families flourish, and you can finally put down roots that feel right. From the very first sketch to the final walkthrough, we treat every home like it's our own family moving in. If you're ready to build a home and right-size your life in a smarter, safer place, start with people who truly care. Steiner Homes of Northwest Indiana. Love where you live. Learn more at steinerhomesltd.com.
Why would you take your precious metal collections to some fly-by-night roadshow that rolls into town once a year? The only thing you need to do is follow the road to Fox Valley Coins and show your gold or silver to the team. Gold is at an all-time historical high, so don't keep sitting on your coin hoards or old jewelry that you've been saving to sell when the time is right. The time is right now. Prices have never been better on most collector and gold coins. Fox Valley Coins in Naperville is trying to keep up with demand. So they're paying the most ever on not only most gold coins in bars, but also those old coin collections. You might have scarce dates or higher grade coins, so take advantage of the record high market price and the demand now. Whether you're buying or selling, or just want to find out values, trust the team at Fox Valley Coins. Fox Valley Coins is on Route 59, just one light north of I-88 at the Naperville-Warrenville border. Family-owned integrity since 1981.
Picture warm Gulf breezes, turquoise waters, white sand beaches. Now, add evenings of conversation with Salem Media's Mike Gallagher, Scott Jennings, Larry O'Connor, and Jennifer Horn. This November, sail from Fort Lauderdale to the Bahamas, Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, and Mexico on a 7-day journey built for those who love this country. Book your cabin today when you text the word cruise to 94878. Celebrate America's 250th anniversary the right way on the Gulf of America Cruise. Book your cabin now. Text the word cruise to 94878.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
There was a time in the country when scandals in politics were feared by the politicians. Bill and Hillary, Duchess of Chafington Clinton, changed that. But if you remember politics before then, you'll remember my next guest. She was a White House correspondent for USA Today in the good old days. She is a brilliant, beautiful, lovely woman inside and out. And she is a doctor, a PhD of history. She wrote a new book, Trump's Superpower, a historical novel about the founding fathers and one founding mother. Johanna Newman will join us after news with Patrick Johnson.
Thank you, Shaun, and good afternoon. I'm Patrick Johnson in the QC Kinetics newsroom on AM 560 The Answer, where it's 71 degrees now in Chicago. Peace talks are set to resume this weekend in Pakistan. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says the president's envoys will take place in these talks.
The president has decided to dispatch Special Envoy Witkoff and Jared Kushner back to Islamabad. The Iranians want to talk.
President Trump dispatching Special Envoy Witkoff, Jared Kushner back to Islamabad. Vice President J.D. Vance will not be going. Cook County judge could soon decide whether to appoint a special prosecutor to investigate alleged crimes tied to Operation Midway Blitz. Community leaders say federal immigration agents used excessive force and made unlawful arrests during the 25 crackdown. They argue state's attorney Eileen O'Neill Burke has a conflict and failed to act, a ruling expected at a May 11th hearing. The Bears' top pick in last night's draft is on the defensive side of the ball. The team selected Oregon safety Dylan Thieneman. With the 25th selection, GM Ryan Poles is pleased.
He's extremely smart, great leader, violent in the way that he plays the game, everything that we're looking for. Then on top of that, you have some versatility.
The Bears have 3 more picks in day 2 of the draft tonight. News the service of Steiner Homes. Building homes is more than a business, it's a calling. Family owned and dedicated to building custom homes with care, integrity, and craftsmanship that you can trust. Visit SteinerHomesLTD.com. Northwest Indiana's leading home builders. Steiner Homes, love where you live. Time now for the AM 560 Business Beat.
I'm Charles Payne, and this is the Fox Business Report.
The major averages closing mixed but near their best levels of the trading session. Strong tech earnings boosting the Nasdaq and S&P 500 for new record closes. The Magnificent Seven big cap tech stocks were mostly higher, led by Nvidia, Amazon, and Alphabet. All three notched record closes. In the meantime, the Justice Department has decided to drop its criminal investigation of Fed Chair Jerome Powell, clearing the path for the Senate to vote on his possible successor, Kevin Warsh. The Fed's two-day policy meeting is next week. The Dow down 80 points, the Nasdaq higher by 398, S&P 500 up 57. The big winner on Wall Street was Intel. Its stock surging nearly 24% for its first record close since 2000 after the semiconductor maker reported strong first quarter results and posted upbeat guidance for the second quarter. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Hillary Barsky, invested in you.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-884-1012 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-884-1012. That's 800-884-1012. What do you have to lose? Call 800-884-1012. Again, 800-884-1012.
This is Ed Morrissey of HotAir.com for Town Hall. Donald Trump's decision to extend the ceasefire with Iran created some frustration among those who support the war. Iran has never been a reliable negotiating partner, so why keep offering more chances for a deal? Trump would likely take a deal if he could verify compliance, especially one that transfers the nuclear dust. However, Trump understands that airstrikes are less likely to produce his real objective in the war, regime change, than the blockade of Iran. The Iranian regime has spent 47 years attempting to immanentize their peculiar apocalyptic eschaton. The mullahs pursued nuclear weapons to start an apocalypse that would produce the messianic 12th Imam and spread their tyranny across the globe. Trump is now trying to immanentize the regime's eschaton by forcing the cracks between its factions to produce a collapse. The blockade may well provide the best catalyst for regime change, which is the only real guarantee for security and peace in the region. Trump can afford to wait out the IRGC and let economic strangulation take its course.
How can you get from here to there? We've got the answer from the AM 560 Traffic Center.
It's heavy on the inbound Edens, all due to an earlier accident at 2E, 45 minutes in from Lake Cook Road to Montrose, while the outbound side remains clear. Outbound Kennedy, 50 minutes out to O'Hare from downtown. Eisenhower accident at first on the shoulder, hour and 10 in and an hour and 5 going out. Stevenson, also an accident at California on the side, 50 out to 355 from DuSable Lakeshore Drive. Half hour outbound Ryan, the Express are tight Pershing to Marquette. There are delays along DuSable Lakeshore Drive that are pretty heavy in both directions, along with the Tri-State either way. Jane Addams is clear, but southbound Reagan and 355 are snug. Traffic is a service of American Beam and Steel, structural repair license contractors for your home and business. Search for American Beam and Steel online to schedule your consultation directly with the owner, Mark, American Beam and Steel. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight will be partly cloudy and cooler with a low of 45. On Saturday, expect a mix of sun and clouds with cooler temperatures. It'll be breezy in the afternoon with a high of 61. Saturday night will be mostly cloudy with a low of 44. Sunday will bring some sunshine with breezy conditions in the afternoon and a high of 64. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios,
This hour of the Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. They need your guns. Sell for top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
I love America. I love the Constitution. I love the First Amendment. I want to carry and all else. I love property. And let me tell you something. If you care about your country, read Ludwig von Mises and the 6 lessons of the Austrian Economic School, motherfuckers.
From the streets of Melrose Park to the trading floor of the Merc, he's fought for every dollar he's ever earned. And now, with personal liberty and our system of capitalism under assault in America, he's here to seize back our rights from the government. With a cigar in one hand and a copy of the Declaration of Independence in the other, he's Shaun Thompson. And this is the Shaun Thompson Show.
Some folks are born made to wave the flag. Ooh, they're red, white, and blue.
There was a time, Squirrel,
And when the band waves,
before the media became the East German version of the Department of Agitation and Propaganda, when reporters actually not only reported the truth and wanted the truth, but they loved their country. It's a fascinating time to remember, and I'm lucky to have remembered it. I'm so lucky to have lived through the Reagan years and all the rest of it. And one of the people I remember, my uncle giving me the eye every time I would see her on TV as a White House correspondent. My Uncle TJ had a little affection for her, and why not? She was lovely, brilliant. She's a doctor of history. She's somebody who went on to become an author. Johanna Newman, how are you?
Hi, Shaun. How are you? What an introduction. Thank you.
Well, I have to tell you, I can remember the launching of USA Today, and I remember you in the late 80s and just the different climate of the country. And it was just wonderful to have lived through. In California, where you're from, it used to be a hub, a stronghold of capitalism and growth and economic prosperity. Now, what the hell did you do? How many Chicago Democrats moved out there and started voting?
I don't know. I haven't lived there for many years.
No, I know. But it is a tragedy to watch.
It is tragedy. It was a beautiful. When I grew up there were still orchards of orange blossom, and it smelled beautiful, and there was agriculture and industry. It was just and shopping. So
Well, what's fascinating is to watch. And I was very, very skeptical of Donald Trump, really very skeptical because of his years, as somebody who had to deal with Democrats, and he gave them money in the years of the Clintons. I think the Clintons broke America, but I love what he has done. He has earned my affection, and your new book coming out, the title of it I love too, Trump's Superpower, the historical novel about the founding fathers and one founding mother. Donald Trump, I believe, 400 years from now, will go down as the president that saved America from the Chicago Marxist mafia takeover. I really believe that.
And I named it Trump's Superpower. Thank you for noticing, because I really have come to believe that President Trump understands that if he does not rescue the founders and the founding from left-wing critics in the academia and in the press, over the last 100 or more years, they've been pounding these people for a century. He has got to rescue them, or he can't make the country great again. I mean, we need foundation, and they gave us the best in the world. I mean, Thomas Jefferson's Declaration of Independence, that you cannot have governance except by the consent of the governed, that our rights are inalienable and do not come to us from government, like Zoran Mondani might have you believe. They come to us from the Creator, and that all are created equal. So I think it's a proud heritage. The book is funny. I mean, I bring the founders down from heaven, and they have marvelous encounters with 21st century Americans. Ben Franklin is arrested for misgendering someone, and Scott Bessent has lunch at the Fed with Alexander Hamilton, and George Washington gets his teeth fixed. So there's a lot that happens that's sort of a wonderful fantasy of how they would, interact with our world. But there's also a very serious conversation among them about whether this is the country they meant to leave us. And there's one scene where protesters surround their car and, you know, carrying these signs about give us back our history and, you know, down with the white founders and things like that. And Thomas Jefferson comments, and I put these words in his mouth, but I thought they were very wise. He says, we protested tyranny, the tyranny of a British king. They're protesting privilege, their own privilege.
Yes.
And I guess that's how I feel about it.
Well, I absolutely love it. And, you know, it's funny. This weekend, I hate the weekend and I love the weekend, right? Because you can really dive in to the psychology of what the issues are. And what's beautiful about this time in American history, we're not on the road to serfdom that Hayek wrote about. We're in the cul-de-sac of it. And you see the people open in their greed to steal other people's assets, to keep everyone down. And you look at these Democrat areas and what we talked about, what has happened to California in a very short period of time, is that this philosophy, this ideology can only be subscribed to by people who hate themselves. And in order to hate themselves properly, they have to take other people's success. That is the philosophy of communism and Marxism. They hate themselves. They want to live low, and they want to normalize it. And the founders wouldn't tolerate it. And, you know, you look back at these guys. They're in their 40s for the vast majority. Aside from Ben Franklin, they're in their 40s. We have several that are under 21. Some of the most intellectual.
Fiery, yeah.
You know, and it's a wonderful time to see the people who wallow in the true face of greed, the greed of other people's assets, other people's money. That's what the argument's always been about. You know, it's fantastic to see. And I think now is time. It's funny you say the Declaration of Independence is my favorite. Now is time to break the political bands that bind us. I really believe that. Secede. There are no rules. The rules are there are no rules. And it was written that if these areas become corrupted as they have, now we separate. That's the point of federalism and anti-federalism and the whole argument, isn't it?
Yes. And, you know, it's sort of instructive sometimes to go back and reread the Federalist Papers because all these arguments are spelled out there. But I think that Trump has called for a huge party for 250. He's got, you know, tall ships in the harbors. He's got a commission in every state. He is planning to build a humongous arch just outside on the Virginia side. It's a stunning neoclassical work to leave for the next generations as a remembrance of the august occasion that this represents. And already you can sense the left getting ready to douse our joy. I mean, there's a coastal commission in California that has banned fireworks in Long Beach because it could hurt the ocean.
Well, you know, you can't be proud of
New York.
Yeah,
is banning large gatherings of more than 20 people on July 4th, and there were supposed to be.
He lived with his mother 8 months ago, Johanna. He lived with his mother. The mayor, get the hell out of here. I mean, it's just insulting all the way around, these idiots.
And wasn't he in a rent-free apartment or rent control?
No, the mother's a multimillionaire. He's another one.
Oh, okay.
You know, this is the other thing. They're not going to. The communists, the Marxists, the American Democrat, there is no pride in his country. There's no pride in themselves. You cannot subscribe to this philosophy if you have pride in your country, pride in a principle.
They hate it. They're
void of pride.
I would argue they hate our country. They show that every day.
And that's what I love about watching the people who have been rescued from communism, who have been rescued from socialism. The Venezuelans are saying the national anthem. The Cuban, I'm lucky enough to grow up with my best friend is Cuban. The pride in this country a Cuban had, the pride that you see from the former Soviet Union, which we lived through, and when they would come here and they would defect. Do you remember that? How they just loved it. They loved us. That pride does not exist in Chicago Democrat scum areas or any Democrat area.
Well, and look at the Iranian Americans. I mean, they are the most marvelous counter to the left-wing drama about the war. They're saying, please, thank you, we love Trump. I mean, it's really quite comical. And these people who are angry at Trump don't realize the force for good that he represents.
Well, you know what else is funny? Because when I was young and you were younger, in California specifically, the Iranians went there and they succeeded, like everybody else, like the Cambodians, like you name it. Everybody succeeded. And what's funny is to see the outing of the children and the relatives of the tyrants that were still, and how they lived without working. And then you realize why in the 80s, when you were a reporter, this country laughed at Joe Biden when he could form a sentence and put on his own shoes, let alone when he couldn't. And this is what really has collapsed, is the character of the American. And you were there for it. And Reagan faced a lot of attacks. I never liked Bush Sr., but I loved Reagan. Reagan faced a lot of attacks. He faced a lot of undermining from his own party. It's very similar to Trump, but it's about a tenth of what Trump's gone through, isn't it?
Right, absolutely. And I sometimes think, you were saying earlier that you didn't have any natural affection for Trump, but this term he's really impressed you. And I think those 4 years where they hounded him, they tried to strip him of his money and his reputation, of his time, of his energy, and then they tried to kill him. I think it made him stronger. And he's just a much more resilient. He doesn't really care what, the nattering poops are going to say about him. So he's got a mission.
I think it might have been USA Today that did the article. No, it was earlier than that. When Donald Trump made this splash, he had taken over from his father, and I will never forget it. It had to be in the late 70s. He was in a suit, and he was at a 1977 or 76 Cadillac Fleetwood. He was getting out of the limousine, and he was going to be the kid that took us through. And his timing was perfect, and I loved him as a kid. We didn't have any money, we idolized to be rich, and you watched him build this take his father's company, which was very big, but it was completely different. They did housing in Queens, and it was Trump that went into Manhattan, Trump that bought the buildings, and I loved them, and as a young kid. And then you want to know when I said, wait a minute, I don't like this, is with the Clintons. That's when I was like, because I loved them right up until the Bill and Hillary, and then I was fully aware, Schumer. And in Chicago later on, he hired all the scumbags who, by the way, they went to jail, Johanna. The guys who were Trump's lawyers, his name is Ed Burke, big fat slob of a guy, went to jail. He was a longtime gangster. And, that was when I was like, wait a minute. If what's the point of money, Johanna, if you've got to tolerate and be around scum character? To me, there's no point of it. Money's just paper. Wealth is when you don't have to tolerate the scumbags. So I was perplexed by this, right? His interwoven relationships with the Clintons, who are repulsive on a multitude of levels. So he then, when Barack Obama made fun of him at the dinner that's happening tonight, I said, this is not going to go well. You could see his face. And I liked him, and I wanted him to run, and I really did. It was when he started to talk about things I didn't agree with. I was like, I don't know. But about a year into his first term, I said, boy, I love what he's doing. And I saw him get robbed in 2020. And I think now what he's doing is going to be fantastic. And I think he purposely says things to aggravate people. Do you feel that way?
Well, I think he has a wonderful, dry sense of humor that is little appreciated because the press is always busy trying to make fun of him. But, I think yesterday somebody asked him about Prince Harry, who went to Ukraine and made a statement about how Donald Trump needs to do more to end the war. And so a reporter asked Trump about this, and he said, who? Oh, Prince Harry. Oh, yeah. Well, say hello to him and say hello to his lovely wife. And I think it just went right over their heads, but I was on the floor laughing.
Yes. As he threw him out. He pulled his status and threw him out. What's also fascinating, he's got the Reagan thing, where Reagan was a man. See, this is what we've lost in politics. They're not men anymore. Reagan was a man.
Yeah.
He lived like a man. He was poor like a man. He earned a living like a man. And even when he went into politics in California, I will never forget on the Johnny Carson show, it was almost as if Johnny Carson was saying, please run for president, because we had gone through the moron Jimmy Carter. And what Trump represents is the idea that there's a man in office who worked and struggled and worried. I think the country, what's beautiful is that these kids who were victims of all of the tyranny we lived under for the last 5 years, 6 years, I think they're never going to tolerate a professional politician swindle them again. Do you feel that there's been a change in the acceptance of these professional con artists who've never worked like Chuck Schumer? You know, he was elected in 1974. This guy, not only could he never do a push-up, he never earned a paycheck. So I think that tolerance is over. Do you?
I hope so. I mean, it does seem to be unraveling, doesn't it?
Yes.
That all of these things are just money laundering institutions set up by corrupt politicians. But I want to say about Reagan, I remember on leaving the White House, he gave an exit interview to one of the anchors, big TV anchors. This was an era where people actually watched the TV news. And I can't remember which one it was, but they went into the office and they said, in a snarky way, the kind of thing that Trump would get to, was, Mr. President, you were the only actor ever to serve in this office. How does it feel to have been the only actor? And Reagan, had this marvelous tilt of the head, a sort of a impish smile, and he said, "Oh, you can't have this job if you're not an actor." As if you have to, and that was sort of the Teddy Roosevelt idea, that you had the bully pulpit, and your task was to use it to move the public the way you wanted to move them.
Absolutely.
And I think, that's what Trump has. And if he can isolate if the Justice Department, which now seems to have awakened, can actually bring some of these cases to a close and show the unbelievable corruption. And, this whole thing with the Southern Poverty Law Center is so upsetting, because this is what Biden ran on. Biden ran on the hopes of Charlottesville. That's why I'm running for president, he said.
Yes. Well, it was all a fraud. It was all an orchestrated fraud. But the beauty is all of the allegations are being vindicated every single day. And what I love about what you're doing in the book is you bring this as if the founding fathers were reading our news today. We're seeing it today. And one of the things I used to love about going through history is how financially orientated and property orientated. It's called capitalism because of a communist named it capitalism, but it's really propertyism. The founders knew that it's the property rights. And when you think about it, they fought the king. What was the tax? 3%? Let's take on the greatest military in the world at 3%. We're a bunch of farmers, and we got Ben Franklin. He'll be fine. So it's really a mindset of financial, you're not going to cheat me ever. I'd rather go to war and kill you or die trying than have you cheat me. When you look at these numbers that they're stealing from us in Minneapolis, in these programs in California, in New York, can you imagine? They would be like, where's the comma? Why did you let the comma move over 6 places before you went to war? What the hell are you doing? Do you feel that they would just be outraged?
Oh, yes, I do. I think they would. Yeah, I do think they would be outraged. And I think, they had a view of citizenship. Almost all of them spoke about this or wrote about it. John Adams, most famously talked about, you cannot have a democracy unless you have a people of morality. And they thought virtue was the single greatest feature of a citizen. And so I do think they would be rooting for some people who are trying to right the wrong.
Yes, I agree. Now, in your book, do you name where you think they'd live? Because I say Southwest Florida. What do you say?
No, I didn't. But I did introduce them to air travel. They went to the Air and Space Museum, and they were fascinated to learn about it. And so they asked to be flown up to Philadelphia, where they went to Philadelphia Hall, where they had convened the Constitutional Convention and, had some memories around that. But that was one of the pleasures of writing the piece, is to introduce them to things that they could not have known. And I have one scene where Benjamin Franklin has sort of a debate with Elon Musk about what is the greatest invention of all time. And it was such a treat for me to try to emulate these two great inventors.
Yeah. And of course it's electricity. He's going to go with Tesla, which I think Tesla was right. I think Edison was a political whore. What do you think?
I don't know.
All right. Well, listen, I'm
not going to touch that one.
I can't wait to go through the book. And it comes out on the 12th. The book is called Trump's Superpower, a historical novel about the founding fathers and one founding mother. All right, come on, spill. Who's the mother? I'll buy the book. I'll buy the book anyway. Who's the mom?
All right. Her name is Mercy Otis Warren. She was a writer, but women in those days were not encouraged to publicly write or to participate in politics. It was considered very coarse male purview.
Yes.
So she wrote under pen name, and she was very influential. After the Constitution was written, all the states had to ratify. And she and some of the other anti-federalists, they were dubbed anti-federalists by the establishment, and today they would call them deplorables. But actually, these were the people who were sticking up for us. And Mercy wrote one important essay where she said, the Constitution as written makes the central government too strong.
Yes.
We have to have a Bill of Rights. And she went around urging these states not to ratify unless they had a Bill of Rights. And
boy, that makes me feel so good, Johanna, because my first argument in high school with a history teacher was I said I was an anti-federalist, and he went crazy. That's how I knew I was right. Johanna Newman, the book comes out on the 12th. Thank you so much for making time for me. Really, I appreciate you.
Oh, thank you so much for you. I appreciate you as well.
Thank you. We'll be back with your calls and comments.
He believes in freedom, capitalism, and individual liberty. And because of that, he's become an enemy of the state. He's Shaun Thompson, and this is The Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
What happens when a school is truly built around teenage girls? Their growth, their confidence, their faith, their future? You get bold young women who lead without hesitation, speak without fear, and discover exactly who they're meant to be. Rosary College Prep in Aurora is the only all-girls college prep high school in the western suburbs, and we've been doing this since 1962. We know how girls learn best. That's why our students thrive in STEM, the arts, and leadership at remarkable rates, even earning AP Platinum status from the College Board. At Rosary, your daughter won't just be educated. She'll be seen, challenged, and supported every single day. Girls here collaborate, inspire each other, and grow grounded in faith and driven by purpose. Come see it for yourself. Schedule a personal tour at rosaryprep.org. That's rosaryprep.org.
Did you know most remodeling mishaps start before construction even begins? Here's something else you should know. At Forever Remodeling, we do things differently. Every kitchen, bathroom, and basement project starts with smart planning, detailed 3D designs, a clear scope of work, and accurate pricing, all sorted out before you get started. No surprises, no stress, just beautiful results. Done right the first time. Visit foreverremodeling.com. That's the number 4, EVER, remodeling.com. And schedule your free in-home consultation today.
When I started skiing, I didn't think about setting any records. When I won my first race, I didn't think about how many more I might win. So when I made it to the top of the world, it never crossed my mind to stop. Being the best isn't the same as being your best. There are no shortcuts to the top, so find the people who help get you there. I'm Michaela Schifrin, and that's what Team Stiefel means to me. If you're an advisor or an investor, choose Stiefel, where success meets success.
Stiefel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
Past performance is no indication of future results. Investing involves risk. Consult a financial advisor before making any investment decisions.
I got to tell you, these moron frauds, Democrats, talking about the market. What the hell do you know about an honest market? If I want to know how to set up some scam, some money laundering scheme, that's when you listen to a Democrat. If you want to know what the market's doing, you talk to somebody who understands economics, understands principles of actual growth in the market. The market's through the roof. And if you would have called Tom Fortino and the people at Alpha Wealth Group, you'd be reaping the rewards. And all you have to do is call 630-864-6711. And now they talk about spending. You're right. There is a lot of spending because that moron in a diaper put forward illegitimate bills that guarantee tremendous amounts of spending to all eco-Nazi green energy bulldung. And Trump is pulling it back. He's pulling back the foreign policy boondoggle of USAID and all the rest of it. We're at the precipice of what the market will be, regardless of how many fiefdoms steal elections at the midterms. We're going to always win. We're Americans. If you want in on it, go to alphawealthgroup.com or call 630-864-6711. And I don't care how old you are, whether you're young, whether you're in the middle, whether you're old. You can still put your money to work in a smart fashion by calling Tom Fortino and the people of Alpha Wealth. For 30 years, they've been watching assets grow, helping people structure it to their risk tolerance. And aside from all of that, making sure your kids get it and not the Democrat fiefdom you live in. Not some illegal alien with a kilo of fentanyl in their purse that they stole from Michigan Avenue. Call 630-864. Where's the phone number, Squirrel? You lost the phone number on me? You blacked out the phone number. 6711. Should know that by heart. AlphaWealthGroup.com. And don't forget tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., right here on AM 560, The Answer, the Alpha Wealth Group Hour, where you can hear the conversation by somebody who has been making people wealthy, the quality of life better in their retirement for 30 years, and you can listen to it for free. When we get back, 312-642-5600. Jan and Pam will be first. Andrew with the joke third. And you after news with Patrick Johnson.
71 degrees in Chicago. I'm Patrick Johnson in the QC Kinetics newsroom on AM 560, The Answer. Police still searching for a suspect after a 23-year-old was stabbed in the neck near Grant Park. This happened Thursday night. Investigators say the victim was walking with a woman in the 500 block of South Columbus Drive when an unknown man approached and a verbal argument turned physical. Cops say the suspect pulled a sharp object out and stabbed the man in the neck before running north to Lakeshore Drive. The victim in serious condition in the hospital. A proposed millionaire's tax shot down late Wednesday. In the Illinois House of Representatives, Democrat leadership said they were not able to get enough votes, but they're not giving up yet.
Proposed House Joint Resolution Constitutional Amendment 21 would have raised the tax rate on income earned over $1 million. Tax dollars brought in would have been split equally between property tax relief and school funding. Despite not gathering a large enough coalition to pass the tax before the deadline, House Speaker Emanuel Chris Welch said his caucus will not be giving up.
We were very close, very close. But close is not enough, and we're committed to getting it right.
House Republicans stood strong against the tax, questioning the feasibility of the proposed tax relief. In a statement Wednesday, Republicans said Democrats should take action to pass their initiative to fund property tax relief grants for school districts across the state. Since the House will not return until after the deadline to put a millionaire's tax on the ballot in November, the proposal may not be.
This report is service of Salem Surround, a local digital marketing agency providing high-performing digital solutions to surround your target audience. Go to surroundchicago.com today. More news coming your way at 6 o'clock. Continuous coverage of the latest news, traffic, and weather at 560theanswer.com. On 560, now to the traffic center. Check the roads with Jill Urchak.
No problems on the Edens. The Kennedy is a 40-minute trip. Jane Byrne Interchange out to the airport. Eisenhower, 1 hour. Post office out to 390. Stevenson, 45 minutes. Get to 355 from downtown. Outbound Ryan, a 25-minute trip. It's still tight in the express lanes, 51st to Marquette. Also a little tight outbound on the Ford from an accident on the side at 130th. Expect delays along DuSable Lakeshore Drive either way, and the Tri-State northbound, an accident has just been cleared at Halsted, causing a delay. There are delays either way, and southbound 355 a bit snug as well. Traffic is a service of Steiner Homes. Building homes is more than a business, it's a calling. Family owned and dedicated to building custom homes with care, integrity, and craftsmanship you can trust. Visit SteinerHomesLTD.com, Northwest Indiana's leading home builder. Steiner Homes, love where you live. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight, expect partly cloudy skies with cooler temperatures reaching a low of 45. Moving into Saturday, anticipate a mix of sun and clouds with cooler conditions becoming breezy in the afternoon. Daytime temperatures will peak at 61. As we head into Saturday night, skies will turn mostly cloudy with a low of 44. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Epic parties start at Staples. Now you can grab Party City balloons, decorations, and tableware, plus matching custom invites, banners, and more right at Staples. That was easy.
Wealth Health Radio. The biggest fears that people have is, do I have enough money to retire?
Retirement doesn't have to be complicated.
To make sure that you're going through retirement with confidence.
Learn principles of income planning.
There's a lot of different facets that you need to take into consideration when you're retiring.
Tune into Wealth Health Radio with Joe Murphy, noon to 1 p.m. Sundays on AM 560, The Answer.
So the body knows that it needs to heal itself, but it doesn't know how to concentrate it and target it into just one area. So that's where we come in.
By we, Dr. Ashley Caravelli means the nation's leader in regenerative medicine, QC Kinetics.
We put in those treatments, then it sends out like little signalers to your body. We're able to make the body focus on the areas that need the most healing.
QC Kinetics has gathered brilliant medical minds like Dr. Caravelli and Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, a pioneer in the field of regenerative medicine, to lead the way in these innovative pain treatments.
So at QC Kinetics, we have a whole team working nationwide with cutting-edge research to reach our patients and treat them and know that surgery is no longer their only option.
The consultation is free. Find out if you're a candidate. Call QC Kinetics today.
Call QC Kinetics, 312-827-6261. That's 312-827-6261. 312-827-6261.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios.
This hour of The Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. Have military collectibles? Turn that history into cash. DonleyAuctions.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Rich in Indiana Park. I'm going to say that one time. He's going to be on the line. But everybody say a little prayer for my drill instructor, will you please? Rocky, give him a kiss for me. Jan, Hoffman Estates.
Hi.
How are you?
Just got off at 25 and 90, and there's a park there, kids park, and they have an embankment so cars can't, run into the park. And they got a bunch of signs plastered to this, to the thing to keep you from going out that says stop ice, end ice, whatever. So I called the non-emergency number. I think I talked to Officer Williams, and I told her that they cannot place plaster signs on the embankment, on the side of the thing. There's no people there. There's people in the park, but they just have these signs on there. And she said, oh, well, they give them permits to protest. I said, you cannot put your protest signs. They should be taken down. And she said, well, you have to take it up with City Hall. So I'm hoping that there'd be some listeners or some attorneys or whatever. I'm trying to find out what the rules are, but I know you cannot put your signage on public property or on to keep the cars from going off the road. What do they call that stuff? The metal embankments. They put their signs up on it.
Sure. When you call City Hall, tell them you want to do a forensic audit of the books in Elgin, because that's another syndicate run more. Where's the money, Elgin? It's another ghetto. Yeah, keep ice out. All right, Jan. Well, listen, this is what happens when you live among the wretched. It's terrible. Pam, Jupiter, Florida.
Shaun, first I have to thank you for teaching me something every time I listen to you, and doing it while I have a huge smile laugh on my face.
Oh.
You have a great team in Squirrel and Bunny. Just had to say that.
Yes,
and
I
your
do.
last guest was your interview with her was phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Oh.
She was great. Newman, right? Newman?
Yeah, Johanna. And I'm going to tell you
Johanna
something. I
Newman.
could still see my uncle's face. My uncle got married like right out of the Marine Corps. Never even would, never would get caught looking at a girl, especially when my aunt was around. And every time she came on the TV, he would look at me and one eyebrow, he'd give me the brow. And he'd be like, "Are you looking at her?" She was stunning in the 80s. Stunning. She really was. Yeah, Reagan used to give her the brow, too. Reagan had the brow for Johanna.
I wanted to ask you a couple things. The first thing I wanted to do was make a shout out to our great President Trump for saving the 8 Iranian women that were set to be executed.
Yeah.
That he stopped that. You heard about that, right?
Of course,
So
yeah,
that's
4 right away.
fabulous.
I don't like
And
the 4 in
also
prison.
for all the drugs. All the drug stuff that's coming down, all the stuff that's going on that he's doing great. What is wrong with these people? Everything he does, it turns to gold. I just don't get it. I just don't get it.
Here's what I think. I think the two, and it's not just me thinking it, I think they're doing it for this reason. The two are connected. The reason that he went after Venezuela first and then Iran is you break this stream of money and drugs to the low-life, low-rent, illegal alien cartels that thrive in these sanctuary areas. So one begets the other. None of this is by accident. And what's happening in Iran, and the reason I think I want to let the story of the girls breathe, I want to know who's left. Who is left? Because the sissy Ayatollah's son is dead. The Ayatollah's dead.
No, but what about? I think we have to get rid of who's that guy, the head of the IRGC. They can't leave him there. There's no way they could
send
leave
him a pager
there.
from Israel. I like when they blow their testicles off on camera past the peanuts. Send him the testicle pager. Kill everybody who was there. And I don't care if you do it quietly or not. Get rid of all of the Philistines pretending to be theocrats in Iran. Pam, thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Shaun. Thank you.
Thank you. Is that the best? Is that the best? Love the accent. Love the lady. Andrew, Cherville, Indiana.
Why didn't Barack Obama bring his bowling ball to the bowling tournament?
Because Michelle said he couldn't go, and he was afraid she'd kick his ass because she's got big shoulders and big feet. She's a big broad. Is that why?
Because he likes playing with the other guy's balls.
Hey, let me ask you a question. Oh, I like that too. Let me ask you a question. If we gave Michelle a crew cut, you think that Rich from Indian Head Park would ask her to give him 25? I think so. She looks like a private first class. Get down on that thing you call a face and give me 25, ugly. And when we talk about Obama, how much money did you give the theocrats when you were pretending to be the president when you were really just an asset of enemies, foreign and domestic?
After reviewing military efforts against ISIS in Iraq and Syria, President Obama for the first time addressed questions about a $400 million payment to Iran at the time 4 detained Americans were released.
We announced these payments in January, many months ago. There wasn't a secret. This wasn't some nefarious deal.
You're a traitor. You're a traitor! And your wife looks like a man. Give her a crew cut. Try to get that image out of your head, squirrel. She couldn't walk in a lumber yard anywhere in this country. She'd soften the wood.
Not pay ransom for hostages. We do not pay ransom. We didn't hear, and we don't. We won't.
That's when they had our soldiers on their knees, and he gave them $400 million, and then came and lied about it. When instead, what we wanted was a man.
He died like a dog. He died like a coward. He was whimpering, screaming, and crying. And frankly, I think it's something that should be brought out that his
and that also describes the whimpering, the screaming, and the crying. Barack Obama on his honeymoon night. You'll put the Red Bull in your mouth, and you'll like it. 312-642-5600.
Make money, smoke cigars, and live free on the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-522-2174. 800-522-2174. 800-522-2174.
Hey, it's Scott Tucker and my new co-host,
Amy Jacobson,
on AM 560. We wanted you to know that we have a special show every Sunday morning at 7 a.m. here on AM 560, The Answer. It is Retirement Dakota with Scott Tucker and
Amy Jacobson.
It's every Sunday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. 2-hour show, 2-hour radio extravaganza. Amy, we're going to tantalize the listening public and the listening private with all kinds of retirement planning information. So tune in at AM 560 Sunday mornings at 7 a.m.
For 25 years, Applied Mechanical Sales has kept Chicago's commercial buildings warm and running smoothly. From schools and churches to high-rises and hotels, they provide the boilers, water heaters, and exhaust systems that contractors and engineers count on. Whether it's a replacement project or a new construction, Applied Mechanical helps you select the right equipment, standard or high efficiency, for your specific application. What sets them apart? They match the right Camas equipment to your building's exact needs, so it performs flawlessly through Chicago winters for the next 15 to 20 years. And they don't disappear after installation. Applied Mechanical ensures your systems run at peak efficiency year after year. Are you a degreed mechanical engineer looking to lead a growing sales team? They'd love to talk to you. Schedule a site visit and boiler assessment at appliedmechanicalsales.com. That's appliedmechanicalsales.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
I can't remember nothing, no. But the good time we used.
Signor said we don't talk about Rosemont. I can talk about Rosemont. Rosemont is one of the only towns that is fiscally solvent. It's one of the only towns that runs in a positive fashion economically. It's one of the smartest towns in a terrible area. What's the problem with Rosemont? If you want to talk about towns that are good, you could probably start off there, and you probably have two behind them, maybe three. It's all the other ones that are run by Democrats. But I don't think, is Rosemont run by a Democrat? I don't know. Stephen's not a Democrat, is he? Of course not. So what's to talk about? And then they're going to say, what, that it's mobbed up because of O'Hare? Well, not really. If you look at how it was created and you look at how it's run, it's just run efficiently. Why not talk about all the other absolute and total objective failures and frauds? You know how you could spot them, Squirrel? They're the ones with the protesters right now. They're the ones where the illegal aliens are very confident. If you're an illegal alien scumbag, would you rather be in Dalton, in Harvey, in Bellwood, Broadview, or Rosemont? Because if you're in Rosemont and you're an illegal alien scumbag, something tells me you should be a little nervous. Those cops remind me of the Melrose Park cops, and we need more of them. They never made it to trial. What happened? Fell down the stairs. We need more of those towns, not less. See, Squirrel? Now there, we talked about Rosemont, right? I want to talk about the other areas that have perfected stealing, that never run solvent. They're called Democrat areas in total. And when they get in control of a state, game over.
The resolution on impeachment investigations is dumb, and I don't understand what we're doing here. We see.
That's an unattractive, as usual, Minnesota Democrat, because the Minnesota Republicans, the ones who want to run things right, like Rosemont, they want to investigate Governor Stupidface, Tim Walz. They want to investigate and do a forensic audit of all the campaign contributions to the lying fraud, Keith Ellison. They want to go after all the scumbags who facilitated the Somalia thieves. And the Democrats in the State House They said, nah, it's stupid.
Politicians doing garbage like this rather than doing anything about it. Instead of focusing on solutions like we should be in this committee, we're instead focusing on this and airing petty grievances.
A petty grievance of $9 billion. And we talk about affordability. $9 billion would go a long way towards helping affordability in the state of Minnesota for people that can't even afford to put gas in their car right now.
And this resolution is the most harebrained thing I think I have ever seen.
Now, one of these Democrat scumbags, constituents in Minnesota, they tried to join ISIS. Did you hear about this, Squirrel? Tried to join ISIS and they caught him. The Trump administration caught him.
A man living in Minneapolis who twice tried to leave the country and join the terrorist group ISIS is now sentenced to 8.5 years in prison, followed by 15 years of supervised release. Federal prosecutors say 23-year-old Abdi Sattar Ahmed Hassan spent...
Boy, that's confusing. Why not just dress him up like one of the wise men and send his ass back there? You'll have a better time living there. That's where it's a real prison, where ISIS lives. Send him there, the filthy animal. Get him the hell out of here. And when it comes to... I do have I'm thinking about what Signor said about I do have one complaint only. They let too many of those half-ass gangsters from the other neighborhoods, don't have Gibsons in their neighborhood. They let them drive down River Road, and then they go there and you get those pretend mafia guys from the Teamsters sitting there all hitting on the same waitress. That's my only complaint, Squirrel. Make sure Signor hears it all. When it comes to Democrat-run areas, I have many complaints. But this scam burger, without an upper lip, this ugly, ugly, ugly fraud. I do love the way she lied to get elected, though.
Certainly, Virginia, by constitutional amendment, has a new redistricting effort that was put in place and first utilized after in the 2021 redistricting. Certainly, I've been watching with interest what other states are doing, but I have no plans to redistrict Virginia.
You can't tell if she's lying, Squirrel. She has no upper lip. No upper lip. All those words came out of her mouth. No upper lip. Impossible to buy her lipstick. It's useless. You might as well put it on her toes like Michelle Obama. And when it comes to California, those women are just as lovely.
Simple, powerful message that we can all agree on. Say it with me. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's right. Trump.
See, but you didn't really F Trump. I don't think you ever could. You don't really make the measurements at all. You could move some of the furniture around, though. You're built more for that. But you really effed all the constituents in that ghetto, that absolute ghetto that used to be an incredible state. It really, really was. And now?
And so this homeless industrial complex that they've created inside of California, they've figured out that if they receive more money, well, if we receive more money, why would we stop the solution? Because then we stop.
$35 billion now. Was 24, now it's $35 billion that they stole. We'll be back.
If you don't care about saving 50% off your wireless bill for the same 5G coverage the big guys are charging a fortune for,
built like Katie Porter.
Maybe you care about keeping jobs in America. Pure Talk does. They've pledged to run their entire operation from this country, including all their customer service. Or maybe you care about our nation's veterans. Pure Talk does. They've donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to America's Warrior Partnership, a fantastic organization working hard to prevent veteran suicide. Or maybe you care about closing America's skills gap. Pure Talk does. They're a proud supporter of MicroWorks. They're helping my foundation train the next generation of skilled workers. Don't get me wrong. Saving money's great, and you'll save plenty with Pure Talk. But if you want to be in business with people who share your values, dial pound 250, say micro, and switch to an American wireless company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
Mike Lindell and the MyPillow employees want to thank you for your great support this past year. They want to make 2026 the best year ever. So to thank you, they are giving you free shipping on your entire order and wholesale pricing. So they are bringing back the mega sale. For example, the classic MyPillows, regularly $49.98, now only $14.98. Turn any mattress into the best mattress ever with the made in the USA MyPillow My Mattress Topper and save up to $100. Get a set of MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets for as low as $29.98 or the 6-pack towel set for only $34.98. To get the best specials ever, go to MyPillow.com and use promo code LIBERTY or call 800-489 800-489-0201 and use promo code LIBERTY. These offers won't last long, so call 800-489-0201 or go to mypillow.com and use promo code LIBERTY. Order now and your entire order ships absolutely free.
Only a few short months ago, you heard silver was up 40%. Well, silver is now up over 260%. Fox Valley Coins saw it coming, and they're ready to help. Unlike dealers that only buy or only sell, Fox Valley Coins does both. No middleman. That means you get the best deal on the dollar. Selling? Fox Valley Coins pays top dollar for rare coins, scrap gold and silver, bars, proof sets, and entire collections of any size, going through every item right in front of you. Cash, check, or wire transfer. Buying? Fox Valley Coins carries all major gold, silver, and platinum physical products. Complete discretion. Your business stays your business. Fox Valley Coins, family-owned integrity since 1981. On Route 59, one light north of I-88 at the Naperville-Warrenville border. Fox Valley Coins. Buy smart, sell smart.
The following advertisement includes a celebrity impersonation.
The summer heat in Chicagoland is no joke. And if your old air conditioner is making funny noises, you may already know it's time for a new unit.
Look, your air conditioner, it's a disaster. People are telling me it's the worst ever.
Don't sweat it, literally. When it comes to cooling your home, Air Right Heating and Cooling does it the best.
And they love our country. Beautiful people.
Rebates are still available, financing is flexible, and at Air Right installations are smooth and professional with no surprises.
It's beautiful. Some people say it's the coolest air anyone's ever felt. I don't know. That's just what they're saying. It's doing an incredible job. Really tremendous.
Plus, tell them AM 560 sent you, and Air Right will give you $56 off any service. Visit Air Right Heating and Cooling today at AIR-RITE.com. Again, that's AIR-RITE.com. Air Right Heating and Cooling, doing it right since 1959.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
My next guest is a third-generation trucker, and he is not built like Katie Porter. He spent most of his life behind the wheel. He's writing about an industry. He's appeared on Newsweek. He has a Substack. He's appeared in the American Conservative. He's also got a new book, End of the Road. We'll discuss the war on truckers with Gord McGill after Fox Weiser News.
Another meeting in Pakistan. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. President Trump is sending Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and son-in-law Jared Kushner to Pakistan for a second round of talks with Iran.
We're hopeful that it will be a productive conversation and hopefully move the ball forward towards a deal.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, who says there are no plans right now to send Vice President J.D. Vance to Islamabad, but he's on standby. Meanwhile, Iran says there are no new talks scheduled. Secretary of War Pete Hegg says with a warning for countries who are not helping the U.S. in the fight with Iran.
Europe and Asia have benefited from our protection for decades, but the time for free riding is over. America and the free world deserve allies who are capable, who are loyal.
Hegg says Europe and Asia need the Strait of Hormuz open, and it's more their fight than ours. One of two missing grad students is found dead in Tampa, Florida.
The body of a missing University of South Florida grad student was found on the I-275 bridge that links Tampa and St. Petersburg.
I am heartbroken to announce the discovery of human remains discovered on the Howard Franklin Bridge.
Deputy Chief Joseph Maurer with the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office told reporters they identified the body as 27-year-old Zamil Limon and arrested his roommate, Hisham Abu Garbia, on various charges as they wait for autopsy results. Meantime, Limon's girlfriend, also a USF grad student, Nahida Bristi, is still missing.
Fox's Carmen Roberts, a volunteer firefighter, has died battling a wildfire there in northern Florida. More than 120 homes have been destroyed in southeast Georgia. Thousands more are threatened by two large fires, one of which investigators suspect was sparked by a foil balloon touching power lines. America is listening to Fox News.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer from the AM 560 Traffic Center.
The Kennedy downtown to O'Hare, 40 minutes, while the outbound Edens remains wide open. On the Eisenhower, 35 to Wolf Road, 50 minutes out to 390. Stevenson outbound side, a 40-minute ride to get to the Veterans Memorial Tollway. Outbound Ryan, 25 minutes, still snug in the Express. Garfield out to Marquette, and outbound I-57 tight right around the Fort Interchange to Halsted. On DuSable Lakeshore Drive, that remains heavy either way. So does the Tri-State. Jane Addams, that looks good. Eastbound Reagan slowing down into the Tri-State. And southbound 355, that slows North Avenue to 63rd Street. Traffic is a service of Steiner Homes. Building homes is more than a business. It's a calling. Family owned and dedicated to building custom homes with care, integrity, and craftsmanship you can trust. Visit SteinerHomesLTD.com, Northwest Indiana's leading home builder. Steiner Homes, love where you live. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight will be partly cloudy and cooler with a low of 45. On Saturday, expect a mix of sun and clouds with cooler temperatures. It'll be breezy in the afternoon with a high of 61. Saturday night will be mostly cloudy with a low of 44. Sunday will bring some sunshine with breezy conditions in the afternoon and a high of 64. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-884-1012 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-884-1012. That's 800-884-1012. What do you have to lose? Call 800-884-1012. Again, 800-884-1012.
If you don't care about saving 50% off your wireless bill for the same 5G coverage the big guys are charging a fortune for, maybe you care about keeping jobs in America. Pure Talk does. They've pledged to run their entire operation from this country, including all their customer service. Or maybe you care about our nation's veterans. Pure Talk does. They've donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to America's Warrior Partnership, a fantastic organization working hard to prevent veteran suicide. Or maybe you care about closing America's skills gap. Pure Talk does. They're a proud supporter of MicroWorks. They're helping my foundation train the next generation of skilled workers. Don't get me wrong. Saving money's great, and you'll save plenty with Pure Talk. But if you want to be in business with people who share your values, dial pound 250, say micro, and switch to an American wireless company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this hour of the Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. They need your guns. Sell for top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
From the streets of Melrose Park to the trading floor of the Merc, he's fought for every dollar he's ever earned. And now, with personal liberty and our system of capitalism under assault in America, he's here to seize back our rights from the government. With a cigar in one hand and a copy of the Declaration of Independence in the other, he's Shaun Thompson. And this is the Shaun Thompson Show.
Some folks are born made to wave the flag. Ooh, they're red, white, and blue.
Truckers. The lifeblood of our economy. The youngest, the richest country, the highest quality of life. And it's due to industries and people like truckers. However, over the course of the last 100 years, the last 70 years, the last 50 years, the last 48 specifically, they've been involved in a war that not many are talking about.
Tonight, thousands of California truckers can no longer drive for work. The California DMV says it was forced to cancel their commercial licenses by the federal government.
Nowhere does it say to illegal aliens, can't read, can't write, no understanding of how to drive the fracking truck and are killing people. My next guest knows this all too well. You see, he's a third-generation trucker, spent most of his life behind the wheel. His writing about the industry has appeared in Newsweek, American Conservative, just to name a few. He's the author of a new book, End of the Road, Inside the War on Truckers. Gord McGill, how are you?
Good evening, Shaun. I'm well. Thank you for having me.
It's a very, very, very important topic, and I've watched it collapse throughout my life. It's fascinating to watch the attack it's been under, and it's an interesting topic that doesn't get talked about. And I believe Jimmy Carter to be not only the worst president because he was perceived to be stupid, I think he was a great asset to the destruction of American principles in America itself. And most people don't realize it was him before he left office in the 80s that really changed trucking in 1980, wasn't it?
So Jimmy Carter signed off on a piece of legislation called the Motor Carrier Act of 1980, which was seen at the time as a necessary corrective to the previous sort of cartel regulation of the industry, and it was necessary. Carter wasn't completely wrong. What's happened is that it swung so far in the opposite direction, and nobody's been like in control of anything, that we went from like a cartel to anybody with like barely 2 brain cells to rub together and $300 can start a trucking company, and now you can see the results around you.
Gord, what's up? I mean, it's truly amazing. Okay, now I have to tell you, many years ago, I never was going to be on radio. I didn't think I was going to be on radio. I used to sell. I still sell real estate. I still sell it, but I used to go from Chicago.
I didn't think I was ever going to write a book.
See, it's amazing how life takes you in directions, but it's out of necessity that makes the biggest changes. So I used to take 65 years and years ago. I used to drive back and forth from Chicago to Florida, back and forth and back and forth. And around 2015, I'm like, are you kidding me? I would stop at these truck stops. First of all, the trucks would be doing 90 miles an hour. And there would be some guy who got his hair cut, what looked like out of a concentration camp, hanging out of the window. He'd pull over. I'm like, this guy doesn't know how to be a trucker. In my life growing up, you would always follow the trucker. These guys are doing 80. They can't speak English. I said, I got to get off this 65. So this has been an ongoing danger and a problem of having people who don't speak the language, don't understand the law, and for all we know, really have never driven a truck, just handing them these trucks. So it's not just something in California. It's been happening for generations, for years, that they've been giving aliens, and their legal status doesn't matter if it's in Illinois, New York, or California. This is a major, major problem. When you hear 200,000, was that enough, in your opinion?
So, yes, you are correct. It's a long-running issue. Around 2015 is, that neighborhood of time is when things started to be noticeable. Part of that was because of the Obama administration. They stopped enforcing the English language proficiency regulation that's been on the books since 1937. And then a number of other problems have taken place since that have only exacerbated it, including former President Biden's 2021 Trucking Action Plan, which incentivized a bunch of states to start lowering ever further the requirements to get a CDL, which were already under attack since the 1980s because they've been trying to de-skill and just let anybody drive a truck for a long time. The recent arrivals are just like the sort of newest iteration of a long-running problem.
And when you see in California one address, hundreds, if not thousands of trucking companies, how easy it must be to set up these trucking companies. This is a problem that Chicago just made the news with some East European former Soviet Union mafia running a trucking business.
Guys out of Serbia, yes. It's funny, I called your producer to talk to you, and on my phone it said Elk Grove Village, which is a suburb north of O'Hare, and that's sort of the nerve center of something us in the industry called the Chicago Volvo Mafia, which are a number of sort of Eastern European companies often directed from, Belgrade or Moscow or somewhere in the Ukraine. And those companies only employ their guys. They discriminate actively against Americans. They backdoor into ELDs and make their homeboys work like 15, 16, 18 hours a day against the law. And that's right there next to you in Chicago.
Also, with the concentration camp hairdos. If you're stealing a couple millions, can you get your hair done by a professional? And I used to own the Elmhurst Cigar House, which is where this new mafia is centered. And it's really it's operating in the open. And, why do they do it? It's not because they want in on the business, in my opinion. In my opinion, it's about the flow of not just stolen items, counterfeit items, but dope. I mean, how does all this dope move around the country freely? It has to be more than just biker gangs. I believe that's the other aspect that people are afraid to talk about. The reason you have illegal aliens and foreigners is because it benefits the cartels and dope movement around the country. You think I'm way off base?
I don't believe so at all. I think you've nailed it, sir. So I'm originally from Canada, and what we've seen in the Canadian narcotics trade is that cartels and Chinese triads and trucking companies owned by the Punjabi diaspora are all working together. And if you pay attention to the Canadian media, you know that every single week there's a new drug bust at like one of the border crossings between the United States and Canada, and it's always the same last name. It's always some guy named Singh. This is not to say that like the Indians are intrinsically bad people. It's just that I believe that their guys are being used as mules, because if you just showed up here from India yesterday and you have no idea who you're working for, no idea what's on the truck, it's very easy to just like abuse these guys and use them to get caught while another larger shipment goes by unscathed.
Yes, and I'll argue human beings are inherently bad. It's only through the decisions and character that some of the good ones can fight it off. And if you have no laws that are enforced, you're really kicking the door open for bad people of all kinds of nationalities and origin. And when you pretend that this is a legitimate business, this is something where it almost seems like Chicago, where there is no tragedy enough that was going to change things before Donald Trump and what this Duffy has done, thank God. But when you see the chaos, the murder, I mean, I view it as murder. When you give an illegal alien a truck and he kills 6 people in doing 70 and pretends he's looking at his phone, which just happened a year ago in Georgia, I believe, or Mississippi, and it was right out of Chicago again, a Ukrainian or Eastern European trucker. He killed innocent people. And California is rife with it. They've now named a law after a tragedy. Do you think that without Donald Trump, this would have happened?
Well, it's hard to say, sir. I respect the moves President Trump has made, and especially DOT Secretary Shaun Duffy and FMCSA Administrator Derek Bars. They've inherited quite a mess, and they're making moves to try and correct it. But I don't think anybody realizes how deep the problem is. You mentioned a number earlier, 200,000. It's actually much deeper than that. One of the biggest trucking companies in America, J.B. Hunt, did their own investigation and came up with a number of 600,000. There's a trucking advocacy group in Arkansas called American Truckers United. Their analysis of CDL issue data shows it to be somewhere around 850. So basically, almost 1/3 of the entire American trucking fleet is now piloted by people who came here illegally or were issued work permits by the Biden administration that should never have been issued to begin with.
So, Gord, I can't help but notice the name of your Substack, autonomoustruckers.substack.com. Are you? Because I'm assuming you've narrowed in on what a fix is for this. Are you pro autonomous truckers or are you anti autonomous truckers?
I'm pro the truckers. I'm against the autonomous trucks. I think we need to lean into Luddism, and not necessarily because technology is always bad. It's just the way that it's being sold. One of the things I've done when researching my book and writing at my Substack is analyze the sort of ad copy from the autonomous truck systems manufacturers, and they have 3 different messages depending on the audience. One for truckers and the public, one for policymakers, and one for their investors. Guess what? Yes. It's only legal to lie to one of those groups, and that's their investors. So if you look at the investor reports, you find the truth. And they're looking to replace us. However, trucking companies are still going to have to pay because all these autonomous trucks are going to have a subscription service for the software to keep them going. They're also selling safety to you based on something called virtual miles, which are not real miles. So I think people need to be very critical about what they're being told by the guys selling these trucks.
Yeah, and the system is set up almost perfectly. This collapse of the trust of the human trucker and the rise of the autonomous trucker. And I have to tell you, when you look at the Uber stats or the Lyft stats or these other stats that even the cars that were set on fire in California, the name of the company, what they call Waymo. When you
Waymo.
look at Waymo and you look at this, by the way, they're all Jaguars. That's not bad. But when you look at it, when you look at the stats, I laugh every time I look at them. They're about the same thing as the regular drivers when it comes to Uber and Lyft. And over the road, I don't think they'd ever really be fully autonomous. They would always have a trucker in there. They would always have somebody in there, right?
Well, so here's the issue. Here's the nuance. The hurdles are not merely technological. They have to be assured. They have to be accepted by the public. They have to be accepted by the government. And this is where, things get weird politically, right? In my book, I mention a California Republican who put forward a piece of legislation that basically said states could not enact their own regulation or oversight against autonomous vehicles. Well, Mr. Republican, whatever happened to federalism, right?
Yes,
So, we just prove the lies and hypocrisies of people with their stated principles versus what they actually do.
And there's another thing that could happen that it should be talked about, and it may be very beneficial. And there's a hybrid that can happen of technology. People don't realize the technology that's in the cars today. There are sensors, there are cameras. I mean, theoretically, you could take somebody who isn't a good driver and through lane change technology, through a variety of different automated stops and the rest of it, you could definitely clean this industry up and still have truckers. Why don't they take that technology that's on a Hyundai Tucson and put it in these trucks anyway? Or is it already there? And that makes
they're trying, but the accident and collision statistics prove it's not working. Okay, the number one safety backstop in a truck is the guy behind the wheel. The number one fuel efficiency marker in a truck is the guy behind the wheel. They don't believe in humans anymore. They don't believe in paying people, training them, or looking after them anymore. So they're trying to use technology to cover up for a very human problem, and it's not going as well as they're advertising.
Well, you know what else is disgusting is that the bastardization of costs. They blame the trucker to a certain extent when the real cost is the insanity and the taxation on the diesel and the rules around the diesel. And I laugh every time they catch one of these Minnesota illegal alien truck drivers. They're using the fracking other diesel that they pretend they don't know the difference. And it's really amazing how the government has layered in the base cost and hopes nobody focuses on the fact, well, it's all, you're making the money from the get-go as the truck is running, whether it has cargo or not. So there's a lot that goes into the cost of logistics. And I think the government makes the most money like they do on everything else.
Right, yeah, but then they also don't do things like, so I have a colleague named Danielle Chaffin, and she researches this stuff very intensely. And we are finding now that, Illinois has got a toll road, Indiana, Ohio, all these toll roads, Pennsylvania Turnpike. The same people who are getting in accidents, the same people who are ripping us off by using off-highway diesel are also not paying their tolls. The whole insourcing of labor and replacing of American truckers comes with a package of other skullduggery and ripping off the system in order to undercut Americans and displace them.
It's a fascinating thing about the tolls. I'm kind of political to a certain extent because of what had happened by a Republican in Illinois. They implemented the whole system, as they always do, temporary, a nickel. And you look at it now, I mean, you're talking big money in these tolls. For somebody to take a truck from Canada to Florida, it's a tremendous amount of money. And it isn't until you get to the southern states that you don't pay tolls. Are you shocked in the way in which these constituents allow the roads that they've been paying for their entire life over and over and over and over again to continue to jack up the costs on everything?
No, I'm not surprised at all. And, the excise fuel taxes, all of this stuff is supposed to be going towards maintaining the commons, our public infrastructure, and it gets peeled off for other things. Everyone looks around and sees the fraud and waste going on with, the Somali leering centers. There's lots of that going on in trucking, too. And again, before we had this major problem with in-source labor, it was going on with domestic American companies trying to abuse the system, too, and nobody's keeping an eye on it.
So now let's pretend that it's the old times when half of my ancestry could overtake countries. I mean, after all, I think it was 65 Vikings completely sacked London, or in England and in Great Britain. So let's say I get to sack Washington, D.C. Me and a couple of my guys from my old neighborhood, we get our swords out and we sack it. And I say, let's get a hold of this guy, Gord. Gord McGill, you are my transportation secretary starting immediately. What are the fixes?
We go into the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration and we fire all the people that used to work for the American Trucking Associations, a corporate lobby group who's been working feverishly against the American trucker.
Oh, this is
we go while we're at the FMCSA. We hire a whole bunch more people and we direct them to go after the chameleon carriers, the people that like run up all their safety points and then move into another LLC and another registration number and keep going. And then we go to DHS and the Immigration Department, and we just start canceling visas left, right, and center.
Oh, I like this. All right. Okay, so I'll pick you up, and we start this during the next election cycle. You in?
Sure. I'm here.
The name of the book is called End of the Road, Inside the War on Truckers. Gord, before I let you go, you're third generation, so you grew up around this, the stories from the grandfather, the father. You know, I know the answer, but when you inflationally adjust the money of what your grandfather made and what your father made, and you look at what guys make today, I mean, it's got to be almost half, isn't it?
Yeah, no, there was studies done in 2016, so 10 years ago, truck drivers were already only making 50% of what they were in inflation-adjusted dollars from 1980.
At Jimmy Carter. And what we do...
Improved.
Now, listen, we get a bunch of coffee. I like coffee. We drink buckets of it. Next time we go through Georgia, I'll get the where Jimmy Carter's grave is, and they better hope they have a urinal cake on it. We're going to take that road, too. Gord, I really appreciate you making time for me. More importantly, I appreciate the book, End of the Road, Inside the War on Truckers. I'm going to buy it when we go to break. Where's the best place for people to go and buy it?
My publishers, creedandculture.com. It's right there. If you have to, it's at Amazon as well. There's an audio book narrated by me at audible.com if you consume your books by audio.
Well, listen, I really, really appreciate you making time, and it was nice to meet you. I hope I get to do it in person.
Awesome. No, likewise. Thank you, Shaun. Take care.
You too, Gord. We'll be back with your calls and comments.
This is the Shaun Thompson Show, where Democrats are always wrong, Republicans are seldom right, and politicians are never, ever to be trusted. On AM 560, The Answer.
Platform safety is critical at your commercial and industrial facility. Keeping people safe and meeting OSHA requirements isn't optional. That's why Vans Industrial offers free platform inspections by professional structural engineers who know exactly what to look for. Problems with platforms, ladders, or stairs can lead to costly fines or worse. Vans Industrial helps you meet OSHA standards to protect people in your facility.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, president of Vans Industrial. With decades of experience, I bring long-standing industry knowledge from inspecting, correcting, and replacing countless platforms to make facilities safer. Vans Industrial is a specialty contractor equipped to modify or replace steel catwalks, handrails, stairways, and ladders. Our union building trades professionals fabricate and install high-quality steel systems that create safer work environments.
Call 833-VANS-IND for a free platform inspection by professional structural engineers. See what else we can do for you. Visit vansindustrial.com. That's VANS Industrial.com.
Lots of places can expose you to identity theft, but that's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats to your identity, which is way more than anyone can do on their own. If they find anything suspicious, like new loans or changes in your financial accounts, they'll alert you right away, all through text, phone, email, or the LifeLock app. Get the alerts that can make all the difference. Save up to 40% off your first year with the promo code BECK. LifeLock.com. 800-LifeLock. 1-800-LifeLock or LifeLock.com. Use the promo code BECK at LifeLock.com.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
You need to be tuning into the Retirement Success Blueprint with Michael Stewart, the radio companion to the Amazon best-selling book, Success Blueprint, How to Build the Retirement You Deserve. Each week, Michael shares strategies designed to help reduce market risk through income-generating investments that can provide steady returns. Because if you can avoid a big loss, you don't need to take big risks. Catch the Retirement Success Blueprint with Michael Stewart, Saturday mornings at 10, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
When I started skiing, I didn't think about setting any records. When I won my first race, I didn't think about how many more I might win. So when I made it to the top of the world, it never crossed my mind to stop. Being the best isn't the same as being your best. There are no shortcuts to the top, so find the people who help get you there. I'm Michaela Schifrin, and that's what Team Stiefel means to me. If you're an advisor or an investor, choose Stiefel, where success meets success.
Stiefel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
Past performance is no indication of future results. Investing involves risk. Consult a financial advisor before making any investment decisions.
President Trump has triggered a $200 billion tech disruption, and Wall Street is asleep at the switch. This $200 billion investment in chip technology could make today's artificial intelligence chips obsolete. Technology that will make today's AI data centers a thing of the past, like IBM's old mainframes. While most investors are focused on old-fashioned AI, there are three companies quietly building a $1 trillion triangle that could transform every tech sector on Earth. These three companies are gearing up to develop and manufacture supercomputers the size of a dinner plate. Institutions like Vanguard, BlackRock, and State Street are pouring more than $200 billion into this AI revolution. Investment guru George Gilder has been predicting tech revolutions for more than 40 years, including the iPhone, Netflix, and Amazon. Now he's got his finger on three companies whose technology will change tech forever. Log on to TrillionDollarTriangle.com to find out which three companies are working on what could be the biggest tech disruption since the internet. TrillionDollarTriangle.com. That's TrillionDollarTriangle.com.
Rick Borick talks about the emotions of stock market investing.
At what point would you rethink your decision that you're invested in the stock market? And you'll notice that someone who answered that question 6 months ago saying, I'm not going to panic until it's down 30%, calls you up on the phone and says, it's down 8, what's going on? And I says, what happened to the 30% guy, right?
Unleash your wealth, Saturday at 7 a.m. and 2 p.m. on AM 560, The Answer.
Your dog and a stranger are drowning. You can only save one. Who do you choose? Dennis Prager says your answer reveals everything about how you define right and wrong. In his new book, If There Is No God, Prager exposes the danger of emotion-based morality and why, without objective truth, society descends into chaos. This isn't a religious book. It's a rational case for moral clarity in a confused age. If There Is No God, from Dennis Prager. Order now at pragerstore.com.
That makes me miss Dennis Prager. I miss him. I know he's back. He's doing well. But see, during the smoker, I would say, well, I grabbed the stranger by the hair and I pull him out and I knock his front teeth out for making me lose my dog. See, win-win, Squirrel. You can always win. And that's what we're going to talk about at the smoker when we have it. But before that, I'm coming in next week. And after my conversation with Gord, I was going to drive. I really was. I was going to pick up the car tomorrow and just drive. I'm flying, and I'm taking Spirit Airlines, so we'll take your calls on Trump backstopping Spirit. And I think he should after what Biden did. But when we get there on Thursday, I will be at Cole Digital Showroom in Frankfurt. I looked it up last night. These are wonderful people. These are self-made people. These are people that support America, American capitalism. I'm really looking forward to it. Going to Frankfurt next Thursday, April 30th. Now, here's the thing. You can come. It's free. We're going to have a luncheon, but you do have to register. We have to know who's coming, and we have to know how many are coming. So go to 560theanswer.com/Cole, K-O-L-E. They're wonderful people. They sell home theaters, outside theaters, and you don't even have to go to them. They'll come to you, but you have an opportunity to go to them and take a look at the showroom. There's going to be food. I'm going to be there. It's lunch with me. Squirrel, are you coming? No? All right. Well, we'll see if we can get Squirrel out there. They said free food. Normally he's in the rocket ship on his way there. April 30th, Cole Digital in Frankfurt. Be there or be square. Go to 560theanswer.com/KOLE. I see you there next Thursday. I'm looking forward to it. It starts at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And I got to get ready for the show. So I'll see you there at 11 a.m. sharp next Thursday. 312-642-5600. When we get back, I'm going to take your calls. I see they're coming in. That'll be after News with Patrick.
Next, Shaun, 69 degrees in Chicago in the QC Kinetics newsroom on AM 560, The Answer. Chicago finally breaking ground on the long-awaited CTA Red Line extension on the far south side. The $5.7 billion project will stretch service 5.6 miles from 95th to 130th Street, adding 4 new stations and a new rail yard. CTA officials call it the biggest capital improvement project in the history of the agency. A Buffalo Grove High School security guard remains in a coma after being critically injured while trying to protect students. Family members say 52-year-old Orlando Rivas was struck Tuesday when a car leaving the school parking lot hit a pole, causing it to fall on him. Relatives say Rivas was shielding students at school, or school was letting out. He suffered a traumatic brain injury and remains in critical condition. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt confirming U.S. Special Envoys Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff will be heading to Pakistan Saturday to resume ceasefire talks with Iranian officials. Leavitt says it was Iran who reached out to the U.S. to restart the talks.
The Iranians reached out, as the president called on them to do, and asked for this in-person conversation. So the president is dispatching Steve and Jared to go hear what they have to say. And we're hopeful that it will be a productive conversation and hopefully move the ball forward towards a deal.
This report sponsored by Staples. Staples has hundreds of ways to grow your business this spring, like spectacular signs, brilliant brochures, eye-popping posters, mouth-watering menus, and more. Shop now through June 13th and save up to $150 on all your custom prints. Staples, that was easy. Let's check traffic now with Jill Check.
Here is a final check of the roads on the Kennedy downtown to O'Hare, 40 minutes, and the outbound Edens remains clear. Going out on the Kennedy, 40 out to 390 from downtown. Stevenson looks much better. 30 minutes to Sabo Lakeshore Drive out to 355. Outbound Ryan, 15 minutes. Stall in the center lane at 95th. Express stop and go 63rd to Marquette. To Sabo Lakeshore Drive, still seeing tie-ups either way, but it is getting better. And same with the Tri-State. The Jane Addams is fine both east and west. Reagan and 355. Those are looking good as well. This report is a service of Woodland Windows and Doors. See Marvin Products in their beautiful showroom at the corner of Lake and Gary and Roselle, or visit woodlandwindows.com for a free in-home expert consultation. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight, expect partly cloudy skies with cooler temperatures reaching a low of 45. Moving into Saturday, anticipate a mix of sun and clouds with cooler conditions becoming breezy in the afternoon. Daytime temperatures will peak at 61. As we head into Saturday night, skies will turn mostly cloudy with a low of 44. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and newnordicusa.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy, pretty much hands off. They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433. Optima Tax Relief. Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
If you've saved $100,000 or more for retirement, call Steve Shyman today at 833-945-7283. That's 833-WILL-SAVE. 833-WILL-SAVE. Schedule your no-cost, no-obligation retirement review and make sure your plan is built to protect what you've worked so hard to earn. And don't forget to listen to Steve's show, Protecting Your Assets, Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. right here on AM 560. Call now, 833-945-7283.
If you don't care about saving 50% off your wireless bill for the same 5G coverage the big guys are charging a fortune for, maybe you care about keeping jobs in America. Pure Talk does. They've pledged to run their entire operation from this country, including all their customer service. Or maybe you care about our nation's veterans. Pure Talk does. They've donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to America's Warrior Partnership, a fantastic organization working hard to prevent veteran suicide. Or maybe you care about closing America's skills gap. Pure Talk does. They're a proud supporter of MicroWorks. They're helping my foundation train the next generation of skilled workers. Don't get me wrong. Saving money's great, and you'll save plenty with Pure Talk. But if you want to be in business with people who share your values, dial pound 250, say micro, and switch to an American wireless company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios.
This hour of The Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. Old phonographs or music boxes? We are the experts. Consign yours. DonleyAuctions.com.
AM 560. The Answer.
You're going to see the new Michael Jackson movie, Straw? I know you're a big fan. No? I might just watch it for when his father beats the hell out of him.
But my feeling is they should open it, the border, and just let them pour in, let everybody pour in, and then the answer, which is, well, then there'll be all these problems. Yes, there should be. It shouldn't be so great here, is what I'm saying.
And that's the jag off Louis C.K. In Democrat areas, scumbag, it's really not that great, especially the one you inhabit in California. Bunch of scum, degenerate, frauds, and abuse.
California spent $800,000 on a single homeless housing unit. $800,000 one unit. You can buy a house for that, but LA spent it on one homeless unit. And you know what happened? The homeless population went up. Not down, up. Where did the money go? The homeless industrial complex. Nonprofits, consultants, administrators, account executives, salaries, conferences. Everyone got paid except the homeless person sleeping on Skid Row. California spent $24 billion on homelessness. $24 billion. More tents, more encampments, more deaths.
That was 4 months ago. The new number is $35 billion. Terrence, Northwest Suburbs.
Good afternoon, Shaun. Love the show. Loved your guests.
Oh, thank you.
I wanted to talk about something that you'll enjoy. Reagan, back in 1986, ordered F-111 bombers to take out Gaddafi in Tripoli. Mm-hmm. France would not let our bombers fly over their country. Everybody forgets this. Trump's going through the same stuff now, okay?
Of course, yeah.
And they had to do a 2,500-mile round fly. They had to refuel twice. And basically it endangered our pilots. And they bombed his tent, which was right outside of Tripoli. He was out in the desert taking a whiz, and I think his child was killed and his wife was killed. But he never forgot it, and it changed the whole thing with Libya.
Well, Terrence, when we get the numbers of how many Islamo-Nazis Trump has killed, I think it's going to be absolutely fantastic. And to hear him undermined, it's reminiscent. But here's why I'm more optimistic. Reagan was hampered with a fraud by the name of George Bush. I don't believe that J.D. Vance is there to upend the Trump administration. I really don't. So I think we are in the very beginning of exactly what this country needs, an enema of all the Democrat scum areas. You mark my words, Terrence. They're gonna start to talk about redrawing the American map when they take a look at what these Democrat thieves have done to great areas. Make their areas that they control smaller and ostracize them and cut them off from money. That's all you need to do. They can't fend for themselves. They're the weakest link, the dumbest, and the most corrupt. Thank you very much, Terrence, for participating. That's why it's kind of interesting to watch the so-called governor's race. But if you're in a Democrat area, they're going to do what they always do, steal the election.
What grade would you give him on homelessness, and what, if anything, would you do differently? You have 60 seconds.
I'm a notoriously tough grader, but I would probably give him a B on homelessness.
You're not a tough grader. You're a Viagra slayer. That's a man, baby. When did potbellies become accustomed to women? This Katie Porter, she's ugly, fat, and mean.
Ms. Porter, you've acknowledged that your interactions with an aide and with a reporter captured on videos which went viral were, in your words, a bad look, and that you could have done better. What have you done to address those concerns? And as a person who frequently speaks about being a parent on the campaign trail, what would you tell your own kids if they ever faced a boss like that? You have 60 seconds.
I apologized that day to that staffer 4 years ago.
No, you didn't, Fatso. No, you didn't. By the way, she beat the hell out of her husband, Squirrel. What the hell's wrong with this guy? You could tell he's not from Melrose Park because you might outweigh us, fatty. But you ain't going to kick our ass. You'll end up spitting teeth.
Well, by the way, I'd love to be in your class, Katie, if you get a B for what Gavin Newsom's done on homelessness. My goodness, of course it's an F. It shames our state, the situation with homelessness. We have about 10% of the US population, around 50% of the country's homeless population.
Let that sink in. Just let that sink in. You have 10% of the drug addict, degenerate gypsy pig, and you got 50%. 50%. Are you out of your mind? 10% of the population and 50% of the homeless. Why? Because you incentivize them. That's what Democrats do. You incentivize the sloths. You reward the thieves, the drug addicts, and the useless.
You need three things to actually make an impact on homelessness. You need to have a plan.
All right.
The state didn't have one for decades. You need to have the resources. Even if they had a plan, they didn't have the money. Three, you got to have political will. All those three things are in evidence in the state of California today.
And what's in evidence is that you got a big line of bull dung. But what you really are is just a two-bit thief who figured out how to use these useful idiots to steal money.
And so this homeless industrial complex that they've created inside of California, they've figured out that if they receive more money, well, if we receive more money, why would we stop the solution? Because then we stop receiving more money. And so each person, each NGO is actually incentivized to keep the homeless going because it makes them more money. They're able to buy more properties with that money. They're able to build up their assets, and they're able to get rich while homeless continues to run like rampant.
Wait, so people are opening shelters? Is this?
Yes. So I have another video coming out that I haven't posted yet, and in that video we kind of investigate the homeless industrial complex, and we see where all this money's going. Because, for instance, $24 billion went unaccounted for just a few years ago. Nobody knows where that money went. Well, money goes somewhere, so you can track it. And these a lot of these NGOs, they go up and buy these hotels or they buy these apartment complexes, and a lot of times they're actually not even housing homeless people. They're housing low-income individuals and then putting them on that are then on Section 8. And so then the NGOs then continue to receive money from the government who pay the Section 8.
He's a kid, and he did more for this country, his country, and more for righteousness and truth than the entire media has done since Bill Clinton was molesting an intern. That's exactly what it shows. That's why you feel good about this, because after all, everybody knows what really exists when you allow criminals to pretend to be normal.
A random attack at a Southside park over the weekend has a San Antonio mother in shock. Her 3-year-old daughter is recovering tonight from wounds from a total stranger. It all happened Saturday at Espada Park while Gabriela Perez and her family were fishing. That's when a man appeared out of the woods and began punching Perez and grabbing her by the hair, causing her to drop her daughter. That's when it is said the attacker started biting the little girl's face. Perez says it was a scene out of a horror movie.
I think
illegal alien tried to eat her daughter's face. She's legal, the mother and the daughter, but Hispanic as well. So is she a racist? That's the only allegation they can lobby at us, because everywhere their policies are tried, it's an absolute disaster. Everywhere.
It's Mike Fody, and I'm from Buckingham Township, and I honestly don't know what country I'm living in anymore. You made the statement, of course, you've heard it so many times tonight, people violate the laws anytime they want. And you said it so cavalierly, so arrogantly. Of course, Mr. Harvey voted with you. Can you look at me, please? You disrespected the other voters. Thank you. A little bit of respect. You know, I agree. You don't get punished anymore. That's where the country is because of the losing liberal left policies. One state steal less than $900. It's okay. I go to Home Depot the other day to buy a tool. It's locked up. I asked the guy why. Oh, they come in shopping carts, they load it up, and we can't stop them.
There's way more of us than there are these thieves, these frauds, these so-called Democrats. That guy's in Pennsylvania. He sounds like me and you. There's way more of us. They just want you to think there isn't. And it was good cover. I mean, after all, they used it to steal a presidential election.
If you get that Smartmatic machine out,
and you allow us, I mean, this is unprecedented. They're counting mail-in ballots. And they don't allow any Republican to inspect. That is illegal, unlawful, against the law. I don't know how else to put it. Never happened. I've done many absentee ballot elections. There's a Republican on one side, a Democrat on the other. No. The Republican was outside getting pushed around by goons. When they finally get in, they're 20 feet away, and they're told to use binoculars.
Rudy was right about everything, and so were you. And when it comes to what Biden's real agenda was, it's Cloward and Piven. Implode the welfare roach system. There's enough scumbags that want in on it here, so let's import more.
Fox News ran this graph yesterday. Non-citizen Social Security numbers issued during the Biden administration, 270,000 in 21, over 590,000 in 22, over 960,000 in 23, over 2.1 million in 24. Gee, I wonder why that escalated so much in 24. Because
they hate themselves, and they certainly hate anybody who does better than them at life, which is all of us.
But my feeling is they should open it, the border, and just let them pour in, let everybody pour in, and then the answer, which is, well, then there'll be all these problems. Yes, there should be. It shouldn't be so great here, is what I'm saying.
Fence off these Democrat dunghole fiefdoms and secede now or wish you did. 312-642-5600.
He will never negotiate his constitutional rights with the government. Live free or die on the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
Let Cole Digital turn your outdoor space into the ultimate entertainment setup. With a 75-inch SunBright outdoor TV that can stay out year-round and great sound throughout. Like planter speakers on the patio, high-quality rock speakers that blend right into your landscape, or bronze garden speakers that blend into the environment. Our technicians will dig a hole and install an in-ground subwoofer for incredible bass and the best in sound quality. We also install outdoor rated access points for Wi-Fi coverage throughout your yard, and cameras that let you keep an eye on everything with motion-activated recording. Tour our Cole Digital Design Center, 15,000 square feet of audio, video, and great design ideas. Cole Digital is family-owned by conservatives that share your values, and we're based right in Frankfurt. Visit Cole Digital today and schedule your consultation. ColeDigital.com. That's KOLE digital.com, or call 815-469-2000, and we'll bring the showroom to you. 815-469-2000. Cole Digital, what smart living is all about.
For months, you've been hearing ads about Virago immune support. I have to tell you, this stuff is for real. I had an occasion to not be feeling well on a remote broadcast. I took it, and it is the real deal. And the stronger your immune system, the stronger your body defends against diseases, viruses, and everything else. That's why Dr. Huber created Virago, a liquid immune booster supplement. You take it daily. It's a blend of 23 nutraceuticals working in synergy to maximize effects and boost your immune system. It's the nutraceutical cocktail for an immune system, antiviral, anti-inflammatory, antioxidant. Virago even protects your heart, your kidneys, your liver, all in a unique liquid supplement for better absorption. Do yourself and your spouse a favor. Order a bottle of Virago today online at myvirago.com. That's myvirago.com. Use coupon code IMMUNE to save 30%. Maha and Virago, making America healthy again.
Your financial future deserves more than just a financial strategy. It deserves a dedicated resource. Meet Michelle Ashute with West Point Financial Group, a Mass Mutual firm. With almost 2 decades of experience, Michelle builds lifelong relationships, guiding families through legacy strategies, from grandparents down to grandkids, helping people secure their financial independence. Michelle Ashute is focused on needs, not just numbers, and that means retirement planning, life insurance, and estate planning strategies. Whether preparing for college, retirement, or protecting your business, Michelle's needs-based approach helps you prepare for life's biggest moments. Start building your financial future today. Call Michelle at 224-499-3665. That's 224-499-3665. Michelle Ashute of West Point Financial Group, helping you earn, learn, and secure your tomorrow. Local firms or sales offices of Massachusetts Mutual Life Insurance Company. Mass Mutual, Springfield, Massachusetts, 01111-001, and are not subsidiaries of Mass Mutual or its affiliated companies. Michelle Ashute is a registered representative of and offers securities through MML Investor Services, LLC, member SIPC. Supervisory office located at 30 South Wacker Drive, Suite 2700, Chicago, Illinois, 60606.
AM 560. The Answer.
Кабас колбасит соло, колбасер по пояс голый.
How about that Ukrainian thief Zelensky with the hot painting behind him? Any other show play that, Squirrel, but just mine? Good.
Колбасер по пояс голый.
Because they're trying to make friends with people who are trying to destroy the quality of their life. They're called Democrats. Democrat thieves. And when you hear them brag, let's take a look at the economics, the quality of life in the areas they pretend to represent.
If Donald Trump wants to debate me anytime, any place, in the Oval Office, publicly, on camera, I'd be happy to do it. And we'll see who's intellectually superior in that type of contest.
Boy, you almost couldn't get to the period. How stupid? Got your hands moving around like a jazz dancer. Not to mention, you're from a ghetto. And the area you represent is a ghetto where a 7-month-old baby got shot 2 days ago. Somebody else tried to get their face eaten. This is scum of the earth. They really are.
Our message to Florida Republicans is F around and find out. If they go down the road of a DeSantis dummy-mander, the Florida Republicans are going to find themselves in the same situation as Texas Republicans, who are on the run right now. And under no circumstances are Texas Republicans picking.
Take your scum and go to your own areas because you destroy everywhere you govern. You mental moron, you midget. By the way, let that illegal alien boy go. The underage one you have chained to your radiator.
Ron DeSantis is putting his own congressional delegation in jeopardy, which probably shouldn't be surprising.
Oh, are you going to tell us how to win? You fricking loser. We know how you win. You steal elections.
Before I do that, we got this guy, Hakeem Jeffries. Have you guys heard of him? I don't know that he'd do very well in Chipley if he ran for office, but he's threatening Florida. Oh, you do the redistrict. We're going to come down. We're going to get you guys, all this stuff. Go ahead. Make my day. Bring it on. I would like nothing better than to have him campaigning all across Florida. I don't know that he would do well here. I don't know he would do well almost anywhere.
And investigate every Southern law center that there is.
The House Judiciary Committee has sent a letter to the Southern Poverty Law Center requesting...
By the way, I took out the P there for a reason. They've got $500 million offshore. What are you going to talk about poverty? You're just a couple of pimps.
Documents on any communication and coordination between the group and the Biden administration. Now, in that letter, the committee claims the FBI had at least 13 documents, including a memo that labeled traditional Catholics as violent extremists. That memo, according to the committee, cited material from the SPLC. This after a 2023 report from that same House committee found that the SPLC identified Christian identity as a hate group.
And at the same time, they were stroking checks to Nazis, to the KKK, to socialists, which is kind of refreshing. I mean, after all, if you're a Democrat, you are, in the very least, a socialist.
Socialism is only growing. He argues it can flourish anywhere.
Do you still believe in democratic socialism? Do you still think it can be effective?
I believe in it even more than I did the day before. And
that's because you live with your mommy and you never fed yourself, you moron. Like every one of you. Look at how you live. Low. But we don't. And we win in the end. Now, speaking of Southern Poverty Law Center, I think this dog haunts when it comes to Charlie Kirk. Give me my friend Charlie Kirk and then the anthem squirrel.
Understand that they're literally putting high school chapters of ours on a hate group next to the KKK and next to neo-Nazi groups. And I mean, we can laugh this off. There's an element to this. Remember that there was a shooter that went to the Family Research Council years ago, inspired by the SPLC list. This is them trying to make us basically surrender at Turning Point USA. We're going to do the opposite, and our students are only going to lean in even more. But they can't debate us on our ideas. They cannot have dialogue. They cannot actually go onto the merits of why they are right or why we might be wrong. Instead, they must smear us with the age-old one-liner that you are a racist or that you are a hater. And they're finally realizing the power of Turning Point USA, which is why they put us on this
Well, when you're
list.
effective, you're a threat.
After Charlie Kirk was put on their watch list, he got shot. Well, they'll say things like, oh, Trump's targeting us. No. You know who cracked the case? The banks.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Let me ask you something. Does your garage floor look bad? Covered in salt, cracked, or stained from the winter's brutal blast? Well, I've got a fix for you so you can start enjoying your garage this spring. Contact my good